but never mind.
Sorry, build it back up again. Okay, we're live.
Are you going back?
Okay. We still retain 523, which is good. Hopefully, some of you guys, I would like to... Hopefully you guys can see us now. I'll wait. I'm waiting for anybody just to say hello.
I can see us. I just refreshed, so I
You've
know
refreshed. Okay, fantastic, cool. So, obviously, we're going to look at this in the next game. Hopefully, it's all going to be okay now. Settings have been reverted to the old ones. Cool. So we have DevM, who is currently our king in waiting. Will he join the ranks of players like Helping Hands and Nagano, who have been crowned? We get to see, but we now, of course, we implement the new format, which means that players have to win one game with every single faction that the game has to offer in order to win. DevM can choose which order he plays those in, but it does add to a little bit of the strategic depth of actually picking factions against certain players. So at the moment, we're going to do a raffle draw for the next player to play against him. I'm going to show you guys that right now. So previously it was Rutger who made the choice with Schlafschaff for the DevM Barton game. And now it's going to be Games Twitcher.
Nice.
Games Twitcher, who do you want? I mean, do you want to play against DevM? Or would you like to nominate someone?
That's right, Games Twitcher, it is your time. You have the power. You have the power to name or shame, nominate or dominate, choose or lose, elect or be wrecked. You have the power right now, and that power is yours alone. I advise you cast it wisely.
Make sure you tag me when you do make your decision as well. I will announce you as the winner in chat. You've got about a minute to make that decision before we re-roll again. After we have chosen someone, I will open up a raffle for a second time. This time we're going to do our giveaways for today. We have copies of IL-2 Sturmovik Strike. We've got Men of War Assault Squad as well to give away, courtesy of Von Klug. Games Twitcher says Helping Hands. Is Helping Hands in the chat right now?
I doubt it, but I can message him.
Let's have a quick look if Hands is here. Helping Hands is not in the chat, so Games Twitcher, I will ask you to make another selection at the moment. It has to be somebody who's currently in chat.
Ah, okay.
Zesty Pete, all you have to do to enter is !raffle. We do the raffles just before every game, and it's a winner stays on competition.
Imperial Dane is in chat. That's very exciting to hear.
Games Twitcher says Love Nest. Is Love Nest up for playing?
Come on, Love Nest.
I hope he says yes.
You big sexy German bastard. Keep the good games rolling, and you'd be an excellent choice. I hope you're up for it.
Yeah, definitely would be. Hopefully we get that response from Love Nest any second. I will just send him a little message as well, just to see if he's down for playing.
Love Nest, say yes. We want to see some sexy Love Nest action against DevM, an old foe of yours. Very cool to see indeed.
Seeing a lot of Go Love Nest at the moment. I'm just sending him a message now. We'll give him a little bit of time to reply. If he doesn't, then we will have to go with another suggestion. He says I can't. Love Nest says I can't play.
Try and see who else is in chat. See if there's any notable players, or if in fact you want to play yourself.
Yep. So there's no Love Nest, no Hands at the moment, unless Hands jumps in a little bit later for a game. So make another choice, Games Twitcher. If anybody wants to play, if you think you deserve that nomination, make yourself known in chat right now. Make the decision easy for Games Twitcher to make.
Okay, players that I can see that are known 1v1 players, I guess. Stafke, you've got Stefan Beck. There are a few others there that I can see right now. Just looking through all of it, to be honest. Difficult to remember if I know them from 1v1 or just from trolling in Twitch.
I think we've got a. We've got another selection. Fredbrick is being chosen at the moment. Fredbrick, if you're here, do you want to play?
Wish I had a drum now. It's like electing who's going to be sacrificed. Like, let's put Frederick's wrists in shackles and sacrifice him to the great DevM. He's not a bad player, though, in all honesty. He's not too bad. We have seen bigger surprises.
Fredbrick is not saying that he would like to play. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, here we go. Fredbrick says, I will fight. He believes
come on, Fredbrick.
Capable of taking down the mighty DevM. So, Fredbrick, you know what to do, my friend. Get yourself into the Kotu looking for group lobby. I will drag you into a game with DevM right now. And then we'll make this second one count.
Another analogy, DevM's like a gladiator that's 10 feet tall, he's 5 feet wide, and he weighs 200 kilograms. He's got a massive mace, big morning star in one hand, he's swinging it methodically around his head. Fredbrick is a small man with a small spear, and he's like, it's just like, come on mate, make a game of it. I'm joking, I'm sure it'll be competitive. Do like to try and build up the aura and the mystique of DevM though, I think we all do. He's our token great player in this game, seemingly, at times.
Captain Price is asking, how long until the stream ends? I've got 1 hour till I'm back home. And, well, we'll probably be going, what, till like 7, 8 normally? So, yeah, I think you got time, Price. I think you got some time.
Yep.
Sane C.
Gotta get home. I think Captain Price has been playing very well recently, against Von Ive, notably, a lot in stream. Been interesting to see. He's actually got the better of the American quite a few times.
Just waiting for Fredbrick to type in Twitch chat his Steam name. Yes, there we go. Excellent. So, invite him in.
Come on down, Fredbrick.
Always doing those checks, just to make sure that everybody's who they say they are.
Very methodical. I apologise for not talking enough whilst to give you cover. I think it's time again just to very quickly talk about Winter Balance Patch. That's what we're going to be experiencing in March when Kyle comes back off holiday and has time to implement it for us. It is giving some great mods time to check for bugs, and there are bugs that are becoming evident, but the great thing is about these guys is they're so on it at the moment. Mr. Smith especially is finding, for example, suppression bugs and fixing them the next day, getting them implemented because this is a tuning pack, and it's great to see. Also, for example, there's a hell of a lot of quality of life changes. Just simple stuff like you've got a handbrake on your half track, so when you drag select in infantry, you're not pulling the half track around. You can keep reinforcing using med kits that actually work. Telemines now actually destroy tanks, they don't trigger. There's stuff in now that's been changed that we've wanted changed for absolutely years. They're refining the game. Of course, they're not balancing it as much as we'd like because of scope, but they're making the game better overall in ways that you probably won't expect. So, by all means, I'm posting the balance notes, the merge notes now. You can actually use a MooBot command at any time as well. I think it's exclamation notes, I believe. But yes, have a look through them. It's a lot better than you think. People think it's Company of Penal Battalions for the most part, but it just isn't. They are the most notably changed unit, but there are others there, a hell of a lot.
Yeah, they are. Some of those changes I think are really nice, but it looks like there's good reasoning behind them. So we were talking about this earlier. The PTRSs that the penals get now are obviously much weaker than the guards' PTRSs. So guards keep their role as a more expensive, higher damage unit to counter those vehicles. But what I found really interesting was that if say for instance any PTRS got dropped, any unit in the game that picks that up would basically get the penal version of the PTRS, except guards. If they pick up the PTRS, they get the guards version of the PTRS, which keeps the high damage going on, which I think is really cool, because it keeps those units stuck in those roles always. So now you can play your tier 1 Soviets, not have to pick a commander that has guards in just to survive against the light vehicle game. You got that soft counter to light vehicles, or you could go tier 2 for that AT counter to light vehicles. So there's a really cool structure going on there. Hopefully we get to see some Soviets today to demonstrate that as well. But hopefully this gives us much more broader variety for the patch so far. If you guys are playing in this tournament ongoing, just remember that we have had some changes to the rules. I will just bring that up now just because we're waiting for their game to start. Some of the rules that we've got that have changed do include the king must now win consecutive games using each of the 5 factions. So DevM's already won his game using Austere. He can use that faction one more time, but basically he has to play every single one of the factions in his next 5 games in order to be king of the hill. The second one is that we have introduced commander restrictions for the British factions. This is just because there were some clear problems with them. Mobile Assault Regiment, Tactical Support for the UKF, and Advanced Emplacement Regiment are now no longer able to be used. So if you're going to go in with Brits, please make sure you're aware that those changes do now exist.
Yeah, save the overpowered Brits for your most fierce opponents is my recommendation. Try and win on the if you're up against somebody, for example, that is a solid player but not going to be smashing you. You could possibly try and use one of the others. You can make a game of it, make a strategy out of it. Keep your best faction till last to make yourself the king. Because the more you win in this series, the more money you make. It is incremental and increases as time goes on.
Yeah. We have opened a raffle. I just opened a raffle. The raffle is for IL2 Sturmovik, the game. We had a Steam key provided by Von Klug, so I'll let you guys raffle for that. I think we're just about ready to kick this game into action, so I'll put you guys over to our famous waiting screen with the lovely Co 1 soundtrack, and we'll be in the next game very shortly.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the exciting Propaganda Coast with your host Imperial Day, Master of Propaganda, Hero of the Right, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off to another exciting map, this time on Lost Glider, between here Reichsfuhrer Lieutenant fighting for the glorious Deutschland 116th Panzer Division Windhund. It's insane DevM. He's up against Sane C+. He's another faction.
He is up against Sane C, playing the OKW. Lost Glider is going to be the map today. This is the first time we've cast a game on this map, so it's a very, very interesting one. It's not high on the list of maps that would be picked in a tournament. However, I'm really, really glad that we're going to be able to get to see it played today, Dane.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Oh, so you want me to cast as Dane for the entirety of the game?
I was definitely not suggesting that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Lost Glider is a great flavour for the month kind of OKW, auto match map, I mean. It's not something you expect to see in most games. DevM with the mortar straight away. Did you check player cards done?
I certainly did, yes. I can understand actually why he would go for the mortar straight away. I just think he wasn't expecting that kind of aggression from his opponent. Definitely an unfortunate start.
It was indeed. The mortar was uncovered straight away by the STGs, the Sturmgewehrs, and the Sturm Pioneers, and yeah, he's pushed DevM straight back into his own base.
Yeah, I genuinely think he was going to try and have something on the field that would be able to just counter any buildings with the mortar there. DevM trying to look at that bait with the house there. That was absolutely beautiful. He's just hopping in and out of this building right now, trying to get damage on those Sturm Pioneers. The mortar's trying to do damage. Yeah, you're right. A very, very, very odd starting build there, and DevM crazily in the back foot.
No south-facing windows there, so the Sturm Pioneers were able to juke behind the wall and get back into the house, and now they're in position of priority.
Don't forget, by the way, that Sane C here is actually Frederick, who I believe I saw earlier has been in the top 10.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
Player card in front of me now. He's #1 is Brits, so he's the master of cancer, it seems. He's got USF at number 10, OKW number 10, Soviets number 18, and Wehrmacht, he's number 15, so he's a very, very competent player indeed.
I really hope that the nickname that you've just given him doesn't stick with him throughout the rest of his tournament career. Master of Cancer is not something that I think would be the nicest nickname to have.
Definitely not. Interestingly, you see this sandbag's been deployed. If the folks are going to move themselves away from it, it's going to pop away because we do no longer have ghost sandbags or ghost barbed wire in the game.
Yeah, this is always a nice one to showcase people, actually. One of the bigger changes, when this Volksgrenadier moves away, that will automatically disappear now as part of the new changes, so you cannot use ghosting in the same way that you used to be able to before. DevM, after that really, really rocky start that clearly caught him very off guard, has gone straight for the decap on the territory there for Sane's fuel. So there's no resources pretty much coming in at all for either player at the moment, which makes for a very, very interesting early game.
Theory time with A. I believe DevM clicked the wrong hotkey for mortar. He's been playing Co-1 all day. He's not relying on unit portraits or anything like that. And it may be a different hotkey and come here as one. And he was just trying to get his rifles out and accidentally clicked the mortar onto the field. That's my theory.
I think we should ask him after this game, actually. I think that'd be an interesting one. It's not something you would really see any player do. I hope he can make it work, but definitely needs to be a little bit more careful with things like that moving forward.
He'll stumble into a greatly overpowered unit, though, the mortar. Has had a few changes, though, in the current balance patch. Do you want to call it that? That's what it is.
Oh, wow. Mortar just absolutely shreds the Sturm Pioneers there who were retreating by that wall. Yeah, the mortar shot actually got it on that little bit of a late retreat there. Low health squad, so the splash damage did incredible work to them. Not sure what DevM's trying to achieve here with this mortar.
I look away for 1 second, and the OKW's Sturm Pioneers are currently now in bits, and that's exactly what happened to Sane C+, and that's what the mortar will do to you.
Look at that retreat path there from DevM. That was absolutely incredible. To save that mortar, he did not hit the retreat. He ran right around the back in order to get the line of sight, but it didn't work. Sane should be able to pick up this USF mortar here. Oh no, just takes suppression from the base MG. Last minute save there for DevM.
Okay, so winter balance patch notes time. 81mm mortars had some quite large changes. It's got a reduction in manpower because it had a massive reduction in range from 80 to 65 meters in game. The barrage ability pack-up time's been decreased to allow it to move more quickly. But in general, it's going to be a very different unit thanks to that very different range. You have to be a lot more precise with it and get it into position a lot more carefully.
Pioneers reporting for duty.
Second squad of Stern Pioneers comes on to replace those fallen previously. Kubl's not having great effect here. They're actually trying to fight engagements all across the green cover barriers, which just isn't really working so far. DevM's been allowed to reclaim a lot of the map. I don't think Sane. I've got to stop calling him that because his in-game name is Sane. We know him as Frederick, but I don't think he's realized how close he's come to beating DevM on a number of occasions now. Or at least pushing him like right back into his own territory.
Very good micro from Sane there. He used the bonus ability of the road to get away instead of trying to go back to his base. That's game knowledge for you. Sometimes it's better to go into your own opponent's territories to escape than go into your own.
I am actually pretty impressed with everything Sane is doing right now. DevM is a very, very good USF player from memory, and you know, he's not exactly losing hard at the moment. There's been a couple of mistakes. The Stern Pioneer was unfortunate, but both Kubl's remain alive, and they're going to be able to do you know, a lot of pressure capping later on, provided it doesn't go down now.
It must be said as well that currently we've got our Master of Ceremonies, our Keeper of Records, Ishtari, updating the spreadsheet in real time for this tournament. It keeps a record of all the wins, all the games so far, and the 2 crowned kings of Season 1 and Season 2. That's Helping Hands and Nagano.
And of course, we're looking at a potential 3rd king already here. Normally we see a little bit of switching, but you guys, of course, voted DevM in straight away, who's an absolute all-star in this game. It's going to be very difficult to take him down, and of course you only get one opportunity to play against the king each time, so we're not going to be able to see Barton take another shot against it. Interesting, we could have Von Ivan back. That's actually within the rules, that Von Ivan could play again. The question is, do we have that much confidence in Von Ivan right now?
To be honest, I don't. He's one of my favourite players, but I do not have confidence in him in a tournament capacity. He's a master of throws, it seems, at the moment, and because of his lack of preservation and non-adherence to meta.
Yeah, definitely. I do appreciate he's always trying to show us something new. One day he'll get his victory card.
He will. He did have a few in NA ESL, of course, but against reduced non-global competition. So it will always be a little bit of a mark against those victories, and he'll have to prove himself on a grand stage to truly cement himself as a tournament-level player.
Let's just have a little bit of a look at the game right now. It's still actually looking a fairly even game. There we go. We just see the Kubel go down there to the rifleman on the road. But given that Sane, you know, doesn't actually have that many units to field at the moment, he's actually doing a pretty good job of holding off this huge army from DevM. We don't have the ambulance on the field right now, so OKW, you know, could start winning engagements if he starts dropping medical supplies with the Stern Pioneers.
Considering he's only got 4 mainline infantry units, and DevM has 2 more and a mortar to boot, Sane's done very well to hold the fort, if you will, here.
Oh, we could be seeing a squad wipe here if these Volksgrenadiers get these last shots off. It's a negative cover cross, and I think he might... It's actually been blocked by another retreating unit, giving a little bit of extra time. Just misses out. That could have been an amazing little pickup there. Volksgrenadiers, and that's just not quick enough.
Brutal there for insane DevM, because he was on negative cover and he had retreat bugs on retreat. Never nice to see, but Sane C+, ever the opportunist, nearly took full advantage. Go down the multi-ability utilising Stuart is on the field.
Yeah, another nice unit to see, actually, and I guess you're right, actually, in what you were saying earlier. It really is DevM's favourite thing. Look at this, that was an amazing incendiary nade there to try and take this rifleman down. DevM's pushing with his Stuart to try and stop him. He does go down, which is a really lovely little move to get that squad wipe there.
There you go, there's the fanaticism of a German mainline infantry soldier. He's got a medium tank trying to crush him, but he still manages to shoot the retreating Yank on the, as he moves back to base.
Kubel here is trying to outrun this Stuart. He's trying to get away. The Volksgrenadiers are there to try and Faust. He may be able to jump out and get it, but DevM's just trying to box him in. Look at this ferocity between these players. This is an intense micro engagement here.
We've got a DevM on full form. We've got a very good auto match player, Sane C+, trying to prove himself in a tournament level game. So it's really cool play to see.
I really love this. Sane is baiting the Stuart out here. He's baiting it with these Grenadiers on a separate engagement whilst he goes in with the Lukes. Lukes takes an 18-8 though, and the Stuart's coming in pretty fast to try and sweep that up. Raketin moving over to the left-hand side to try and provide some support, but it's rear armor for the Lukes, so he may get some penetrating shots off, I hope.
Very cool play from the Stuart. It reversed because that was the quickest thing to do. We've also got the captain with the bazooka ready to fire against the Lukes. As this Luke's made a terrible entrance on the battlefield.
Yeah, it looked like a really good idea, but it's going to backfire. That Lukes will go down to the Stuart. The Raketin is not in a confident point to engage. Kubel goes down as well. Sane has maybe lost a little bit too much there to stay in. Come up with some really good plays, but just hasn't been able to realize them against DevM.
It is, of course, C#, not C+. That is my mistake.
Nice hit with the Raketin. First one opens up. Don't normally see that first shot hit, so the second one probably won't hit through the glider.
That is the lost glider, and it's a lost Stuart from Sane C-Sharp's perspective as it reverses away from him. And people are saying GG in chat. I absolutely disagree. I think Frederick / Sane C-Sharp is a very good player. He's top 10 in auto match for 4 of the factions. Number 1 is Brits. This guy is an absolute contender, and I think he's got the staying power to possibly survive against DevM.
I'm totally impressed with his performance so far. He definitely hasn't given a DevM an easy run for his money. And he's still reclaiming ground right now. He's actually starting to push little bits of territory back.
That's what the Sturmgewehrs do for you. They give you the folks the ability to be a lot more aggressive than you commonly otherwise could be.
Big problem here, though, is that DevM has managed to secure both fuels. So we'll be watching DevM's teching throughout this process. What do we got here? We've got... Actually, he's going to back tech down to Lieutenant. So with the extra fuel that he's got coming in, he's not going to go for that Sherman. He's actually going to go back to Lieutenant.
I think he's struggling against the Focus Grenadiers. He's struggling. He wants to get that 30 cal out. The 50 cal rather, the M2 HB machine gun. And that will help him against the horde of Focus Grenadiers. Well, they seem like a horde. There's only 3 of them, but Frederick or Sane C# is playing them so well. DevM wants to counter them in a really cool way. Or Dan, he could be doing something you like very much indeed, the AA half-track.
I would absolutely love to see it happen. Check out this chase from the Stuart. He is absolutely desperate to get that retreating squad. I think he saw the Stern Pioneers there and veered off the road just in case there was a mine there, maybe picking up on that just at the last moment. But DevM is all over his opponent right now, camping the strategic cutoffs so that C# doesn't really benefit from any resources.
Do you want to hear something humorous? This is probably DevM's first time ever playing Lost Glider.
Yeah, I actually think that's true, given how the start of the game went for him. We've seen some questionable things going on, but DevM's got a grip of it now.
DevM is now a professional League of Legends player that just so happens to be the greatest Company of Heroes player of all time. That is literal facts. He's won more tournaments than anybody. He's been around since 2010, and he will never have played Lost Glider before. Just let that settle in. You've got a guy like Frederick or Sane C# that's played auto match 100 games every week. He's up against somebody that's never even played this map before, and he's currently in a losing position, although he's not out yet.
No, definitely not. To be honest, I would actually say it's entirely possible that C# hasn't played this map that often. I think it's on some people's veto lists as a kind of hard map to play. DevM trying to make all those closing game moments now. Sane's going to have to be forced into going hard left or hard right for those VPs, because DevM controls the center. And it's going to allow him to very flexibly push left and right as soon as he detects units coming out either side of C#'s base.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a very, very difficult position. He's kind of in between a rock and a hard place, and those rocks and hard places are basically DevM. It just really...
No commander picks either, so clearly doesn't value anything in his loadout that will be able to help benefit him in this situation. He's got a, he could go for the scavenge doctrine, which maybe allow him to pop some units out on a VP and at least slow the VP drain down.
He's just in a difficult position. I mean, OKW, because their anti-tank is so crap, the Raketin sometimes if they're up against it, especially up against a Stuart like this, they find it really difficult to contend.
You know what's going to be really interesting, I think, is actually watching DevM play every single faction, because I'll be hard pushed if DevM wins in every faction. I bet you there will be people in the chat who are going, well, this faction's OP. And it's like,
No,
well, if all
DevM
5
is-
factions end up OP, where does your opinion stand on that?
You
But
might actually have a problem here because DevM doesn't actually own all 5 factions.
well, here we go. This is the first thing in that, and we'll have to make an allowance on that one, I think.
Oh, well, we'll just
But,
make sure he buys them. It's entire. No, in fact, no. Actually, as a result of a tournament, I think it might have been one I organised. He actually got the factions and he played them. So currently has 3 games ever as Brits, and 7 games ever as OKW. He bought the factions individually. So it might be his 4th game ever as Brits if he ends up being King of the Hill. Just let that settle in.
Well, I'm sure we can get him the faction if he. It'd be
he
quite
has
funny
them.
actually. Just oh, he does. Okay.
That's what I just said. I just read out the stats. He's got 3 games in history as Brits, and 7 games ever as OKW. I remember it was a tournament. I think we might have even casted. He got the factions as a prize in that tournament.
Be a very, very interesting game. Has anyone spoken to Hans yet? By the way, Hans may be up for being a contender for DevM.
Could do it. He is one of the few that has the tournament capacity to deal a blow against the mighty one.
I mean, DevM and Hans used to train together as well. They trained together for ESL, so they were a great matchup during ESL for that reason. Like they got to know each other's play styles. Hans became a much stronger player in his matchups against DevM. So it'd be a great game to cast if possible.
Yeah, he played against the DevM that was very, very rusty. Hadn't played since OCF, and suddenly, oh, big grenade goes in! Oh,
Such a late retreat there. Should have seen that nade coming. Should have picked it up on the intercom, but didn't, unfortunately.
yeah.
DevM may lose out here though. May lose a rifleman.
He's had a lot of
So
luck with those rifle retreats, I must say. He's only
Not
had
yet, he hasn't.
Oh, there's another one.
Yes, there we go. It goes down.
There
That was
we go.
close
There's
as
a
well, because those Volksgrenadiers were reloading as he ran past.
Me and Dan have an unspoken agreement. We're always biased towards the losing player. If it's ever been one-sided, we want the underdog to start winning.
That's very true. I think that makes it really interesting as well, because you always want to see that underdog story. We had it with Talisman. Talisman was a really nice intro, wasn't it, during ESL? Tobis, even. Tobis, a couple of weeks ago when he was playing against, it was Zarok and then Price, played a great game.
So we've got Frederick's losses in this game. Stern Pioneer, Panzer II Lutz and 2 Kugelwagens. DevM, by comparison, I think is probably actually surprisingly not as good as you think. He's won 2 riflemen, 1 mortar team, which obviously recruited, and an AT which he recruited.
Good situation here for DevM. He didn't hit the retreat after taking 2 shots from the Raketans. Now it looks like one of them may go down. DevM may be able to recrew that one, and he's going to be able to get the Stuart out of there thanks to the line of sight provided by the glider here. So again, oh whoa!
Oh! It is a side blocker, but it is not a shot blocker. Sane C+ showing his auto match veterancy, shoots through the side blocker and destroys the Stuart. Amazing play.
Very, very important wipe there. And actually, if you look at the armies right now, there's nothing to say that C# can come back into this a little bit. It all depends on what he's going to choose now. Can he get a grasp of his fuel? It's going to be very difficult to continue playing on tier 1 for so long. But I mean, yeah, there's still nice pickups coming up. He's still putting up a good fight.
The veterancy is very much starting to roll in for DevM and Sane C# in kind now. If Sane C# can somehow wrestle VP control away from his opponent, we could be seeing a game here.
Yeah, at any rate, it's going to be a real push, because DevM is going to at least be controlling 2 VPs for the next, 3 minutes, I would say. So it's going to take down a lot of VPs. We'll probably end up with like 60 VPs if he can even get control of both by then. And, DevM is not going to relinquish that pressure. DevM is also going to be able to make his tech choice soon. I think we're probably going to see... I don't think we'll see a call-in, to be honest. I think we'll go for the Sherman. But he's got to be expecting something soon.
to play this map effectively, in my mind, if you're trying to win in the late game, you always want to try and destroy the big concrete wall that surrounds the glider/churchyard area. Of course, Saint C# hasn't had any vehicles capable of crushing yet, but it is just a point I'd like to make about this map.
Yeah, it's a good point, because of course Axis do kind of favour those long-range engagements. So
They really do.
yeah, having that open field.
It just helps you if you're not funneling into the main theatre of engagement. If you're not being predictable by having to go through the choke points, it just makes it easier for you. Same with Angerville and any other map with large destructible walls or bushes.
Interesting choice. Doesn't look like we're going to see it happen at the moment. Interesting, still no commander picks for both of them. That's got to be a squad wipe there. Amazing grenade. Vet 5 infantry squad somehow manages
Green cover all the way. It's somehow, when they hugged that wall down, the green cover modifiers kicked in, but they're not any good anymore. Oh, God!
He's dead. He's dead. That's nearly incredibly lucky, but I think that squad did deserve to go down there.
Yeah, it did.
Definitely.
But that's cover. Every moment that it's retreating, all the cover mechanics were on display. It retreated past green cover, it was fine. As soon as it started to get into neutral territory, it was a sitting duck.
Same C# there. He is trying to get a control of the VP situation. DevM's trying to get that lockdown, but he has at least stunted VPs at the moment, ticking them slowly against DevM. DevM maybe not paying attention to his lieutenant there, which should easily be able to be shredded by the Stern Pioneers unless that grenade goes off, but it doesn't.
Stern Pioneers did full retreat there, so that same C# showing a bit of weariness against the APM juggernaut that is DevM.
C# is still going in around the flanks at the moment. I think he's spotted that there really isn't anything to deal with this. He's gone for the jugular cut-off against DevM, so DevM now not benefiting from his resources, which I absolutely love. This is a cheeky grenade there from DevM. Logs Grenadiers don't take the bait.
They throw an incendiary grenade of their own on the doorway, it must be said, so interesting strategy there. I must say the Sturmgewehrs have really shown to be powerful in the arms of the right player here. He's really made the mobility they inherently give him. It's just been a great display from him.
I think he's played really well. I'm kind of sad at the early game, because his early game he rocked DevM pretty hard in the early game. I don't know if he capitalized it enough as he could have, but I think if you're playing against DevM, you don't get the same kind of confidence you probably have if you're playing against anybody else in auto match. You know, you have a little bit of fear there that you have to kind of.
Sherman's on the field and it disintegrates that first grenadier. Vet 5 first grenadier. A one-man squad is retreating. The Sherman's gunning for him. Second shot misses. He's got to get around the tail section of the glider, but he fears the Rakettenwerfers. He doesn't want to go for it. That's a clever play for DevM.
Yeah, it is, and these Raketters are trying to line up, but they're in a difficult position at the moment because the Sherman has got lots and lots of cover to navigate around. Raket's going to get a shot in the rear armor. This has to be the end of that Sherman.
Yeah, the Rakettenwerfers, there were 2 of them, overarching lines of play, and the Rakettenwerfers got him in his scope. 1 shot required, misses from the Sherman. Oh, this could be Saint Sharp getting back into the game.
I definitely think so. He's about to control 3 VPs. DevM's lost a fair amount of stuff and is nowhere near to getting another unit yet. We still don't have a commander pick from C#, which means he may go for Special Operations Doctrine if he can connect fuel for a decent amount of time. Command Panther would be absolutely brilliant in this situation.
It would fully get him back into the game, and there's no ice for it to fall through either.
We lost a gun crew.
I've just had an MG34 fall. The lieutenant captures it. Although the captain has gone down, that was off camera. It was an external engagement, it seems, so that's another loss for DevM.
Oh, that happened ages ago.
Oh, did it? Sorry, I heard it in the comments, that's all.
Yeah, that was a while back. It's just probably 2 or 3 minutes ago that went down. But
Yeah, no worries.
It's yeah, we weren't. I wasn't on it on camera at the moment. And again, I think there were more important things going on at that time. But,
it wasn't a slight on you, it never is. It's just to inform some of the viewers, that's all. We've got 2 Vet 5 Focus Grenadiers right now.
Are you seeing the commander pick here?
Very interesting. That's more of a 2v2 commander. Something I often see, for example, Tenshi using quite a lot recently if he's trying to get his space program to work.
It certainly is, but I mean, clearly he obviously doesn't want to go for the tech because he knows that's going to take all of his fuel down. Special Operations Doctrine seems a little bit too far away, so he's picked the only doctrine he has that allows him to bring something off the field for the fuel that he has, and that is the blood-covered Sturmtiger, which is coming onto the field right now in its Roman Make War Not Love skin.
Oh god, that is the only time I've ever seen that skin look good. And it really does suit the Sturmtiger. It's something out of hell as it destroys the Major. Dear God, Tom Hanks is splattered all over the battlefield.
Yeah, he's going to make use of that unit, and I don't think he's going to wait for any chances of clumping from DevM's units. He's going to pick those things off one by one, and it's now up to DevM to try and hear that unit through the fog of war and try and avoid it as best he can.
Well, indeed, he's got a long cooldown though, 35 seconds before he can unleash his next rocket shell.
DevM's really rocking these grenades at the moment, constantly forcing retreats from C#. Seems to be a lack of direction from him though, because I guess fuel isn't the focus anymore. It now has to come with VPs, given that the Sturmtiger's already on the field. Just about to finish its reload in 10 seconds, it'll be back up to destroy something else. I'm hoping he goes for the MG or the AT gun. The AT gun pretty much not doing anything right now for DevM.
It's amazing that Sane C# has been able to keep this many VPs because he was under the cosh so heavily, so he's given himself a second chance basically, and the Sturmtiger might even get him back into it fully if he can get this second shot to work.
I mean, if he can win this game with the Sturmtiger, hell, I'll even double his non-meta prize pool, you know. It's lovely to see a unit like this played in the 1v1, and he certainly is on the back foot at the moment. DevM just closing in the 3 drain triple cap again, so there's definitely pressure for Sane right now to start getting control of that situation, and it's really limiting where he goes on the map.
Oh, if DevM needs to get out of this church, has he seen it? Oh, he didn't see it, but he somehow survived. Dear God.
I just missed that shot as well. I would have loved to have caught that on camera. I was too busy focusing on some Volks grenadiers and the negative cover. But just caught the tail end of a huge explosion. Great micro from DevM as usual though.
Interestingly, just these Vet 5 Volks grenadiers I think have been the MVP for Sane C#. I can't overstate that enough. They've got a hell of a lot of kills. 28 kills on one, 29 on the other.
Yeah, they're doing a hell of a lot of damage. Vehicles destroyed one, and one of them as well. That would have heavily contributed to the veterancy that they gained. But check out the map control coming in from C# right now. He's slowly whittling down forces, and the more he puts DevM back in his base, the more DevM's going to have to blob to come out of his base, and that is a perfect situation for that Sturmtiger to get involved.
What isn't a perfect situation is in a 150 manpower time, the pushing will be on the field, and the Sturmtiger ain't no counter for their big heavy hitting M26. Yeah, well, so you can't really fault me for that because the Americans had the crappiest naming system ever. Like some of the M's are even like repeated on different weapons and stuff.
Oh, the sound of that Sturmtiger is coming back in again. Its target is probably going to be the central VP, but I think he's overextended a little bit there, giving away his situation.
Oh, he's not going to fire because he knows that it'll retreat. No! He cancelled, did he? I heard the sound of it, did you? Oh, no, he's going for it, Ah! Oh, he's cancelling again. He's cancelling again.
Absolutely. I think, is he going to go for the building here? That would be a really nice choice to disable that building. At the moment, it still looks like he's trying to prevent these riflemen. He's trying to retreat. I think
through the wall! Oh, dear God! It's a nuclear explosion, Daniel! Hiroshima 2! Jesus Christ! This thing's a killing machine!
We didn't need that MG. It wasn't doing anything. You guys weren't pulling up your side of the army. I'm going to blast you away.
He built another one!
Yeah, but do you know what? I think that's a good trade because he wipes that rifleman squad off the map, leaving DevM with less of an army on the field than he does, furthering his ability to come back in this game. So I don't even think that's a bad trade. You know, why not throw away a couple of guys?
Great trade. Vet 3 rifle for an MG, and he can rebuild another one straight away. That's a fantastic trade. It was great play as well. And the walls of Lost Glider, by the way, are really working to the Sturmtiger's favour.
They certainly are, yeah, actually. So it's actually worked in his favor, not breaking them down, surprisingly.
Could you imagine being that rifleman? You've got this big concrete wall and a massive rocket shell comes through it. You're like, oh, fuck.
I don't think I'd have time to imagine. It's a very quick end when that Sturm Tiger fires. DevM's got to be feeling a little bit rough right now. He's lost a fair amount of stuff.
What he has got, though, is VPs. I guess, very soon to be capping 2 of them. He's got 63 to whittle down, and he has every opportunity to do it, especially if the Pershing gets on the field.
Oh, I think we just saw a squad wipe there on the left VP. Great nade, low health rifleman squad will take a... I think that was a vetted unit as well. It may have been a Vet 5 Volksgrenadier, so...
Oh, one of the originals. One of the Ubermensch. They're down.
Pretty much. We're running out of veterans in this game at the moment. But C#, he's going to go and try and get the cutoff for these riflemen. So even if they retreat, he may be able to get the squad wipe. Pershing now on the field. Should put up a little bit of a content. Oh, actually, no. The Sturm Tiger can do a hell of a lot of damage to the Pershing.
Mortar's going to get killed by the Sturm Tiger very shortly.
Let's get that shot from the
know
wall,
what's coming
lady.
for it.
Let's get that shot from the wall.
Ah! Dear Christ!
Oh my god, but then from the other side of the wall comes the Pershing, the counter wall breaker. Pershing on the field, trying to get eyes in. It's flying debris everywhere as it tries to push past. Sturm Tiger's got to get the hell out of there, and where are these Raketans? They're coming in to try and stop this Pershing from doing any damage, maybe even decrewing this thing. Rear armor is going to be hit. Now, what is he doing with this? Why is he driving it that way?
Kidding me? He's backing it up like effing Beyonce right now. The cloaked Raketan did nothing against the Pershing. The Sturm Tiger, I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's some kind of mating dance towards the opponents.
Yeah, it's trying to avoid the Pershing and the Raketan that's coming up. And I actually think he's done a bloody good job of it, because the Sturm Tiger looks like it will be able to escape that situation. The VP drain is now coming on to 30. MG in the middle is about to be wiped. It's looking very good for DevM.
But we have to commend Sane C#, or Frederick as he's known in the chat and in the community. He's made a very good game of this today. He's been fighting arguably the best pound for pound Company of Heroes player of all time, and he's made it to a very interesting game indeed.
He really has, and he's about to take down the Pershing. Let's not fault this. He still has the Sturm Tiger. The Pershing is down. DevM is so far off another vehicle right now. The Sturm Tiger has a great opportunity to go in and deal some damage. He has to get control of VP immediately.
The stolen MG34 in the centre was not able to set up. Sane C# and 34 comes into the centre, so we've got battle of the M-gays right now.
Let's consolidate. We are down to 10 points.
I think he'll get this. He's going for that left VP. He's got the center VP as well, putting suppression on these units. Situation's about to turn, but it's 8 VPs left at the moment. Absolutely essential that he holds these right now.
It's absolutely essential. He's gone for the West VP as well. He's got the center seemingly. He's won that engagement because the MG34 of the Americans is getting whittled down very quickly. Rangers, however, in the east pushing away the Raketan versus will the Vet 4 Sturm Pioneers be able to keep them at bay?
He can use the stun. Oh no, he hasn't actually got the munitions for it. Grenade goes in, almost wiping that squad. They've got to go down on the retreat. Surely they do.
Blood-curdling scream of the OKW as they're in a very difficult position right now. Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers in the west can keep that position. You've got 2 MGs in the centre. Sturm Tiger has been recharged. It's just lack of a general purpose tank that is really the fault in his army.
He's going to go for the loops again, which is an excellent decision to control the infantry in this game. But you know, he lost a Volksgrenadier squad, then he lost his Vet 4 Sturm Pioneers. Like, it's so unfortunate because he had clearly way more manpower than DevM did at that point, and DevM's just clinging on to the last sections of this game.
He is. He's got the Vet 3 rifleman in the centre. The MGs overlapped each other and did a bit of a dance. They're possibly going to pin him. Yes, they pinned him. Now he's got the Vet 3 lieutenant to deal with.
Made a little bit of a mistake there with the Sturm Tiger, I think. There's a nade going in on the left-hand side VP. Very well dodged by C#. The Luke's is on the field now. Let's see if he manages to get anywhere with that unit.
I think he should use the Sturm Tiger in the centre. I think it was a bit of a mistake to go to the east. It's worked well in the centre, ducking behind the walls for most of the game. No need to change it up quite yet.
This is it. DevM is probably going to close the game here. I don't know if these Raketans can get up to that VP in time for the drain that's going to be coming off of 2 VPs. This is going to be closer game. What a fight. What an absolute fight.
What a contest, what a battle. He's got to do everything he can now as he destroys the Rangers. Little bits of them fly. They're probably orbiting Earth. They can't send much of them back home to their mothers. It's going to be a matchbox job.
Yeah,
One thing about Stern Tigers, Dan, they can do a lot in this game. They can launch rockets into space, they can destroy Polish people in Warsaw, but they can't cap points. And he's lost.
Wow, that looked like that could have been turned. That was so fragile for DevM there. He really was nearly on the back foot for a large section of that game. I don't know if C# realized how close he came on so many occasions, just wiping DevM off the face of this tournament. But DevM manages to keep that there. That was a really good competitor for DevM. I think
it's fantastic. Yeah, it really took us by surprise because obviously we didn't know his name as C# Fredbrick. But he is a great, fantastic player. I'm really looking forward to him giving it another shot after, of course, our next King is crowned.
All right, let's head back to the lobby. I'm always a little disappointed, to be honest. I think OKW could have won that. Would have been nice to see OKW do that.
They could, especially against the juggernaut that is DevM. And I think Fredbrick, he didn't do anything in particular wrong, I guess. I think the Stern Tiger was a decent enough decision. I think, however, if he'd gone Command Panther, the meta-orientated, arguably overpowered unit, he could be laughing right now.
Yeah. Not transparent. What are you doing to me?
Are you
Sorry,
muted, by the way?
Am I?
Oh, you're concentrated. It's absolutely fine. I'll just.
Can you hear me still? Yeah.
I can hear you. Just weren't
Okay.
talking. That's all. You must
Sorry,
be concentrating.
I am. I'm just trying to fix something that is bugging me with the intro outro, which I'll get in just a second.
I agree. By the way, Rosbone Mako, I do need a compressor. I am a very shouty caster at times. I just can't help my enthusiasm. It's a genuine enthusiasm that courses through my veins, and it does destroy the eardrums of many a headphone user at times.
I don't know why we haven't done this already. I can actually get you a digital compressor that you put on that just controls that before it comes to me. Might be worth doing.
Could you get me a really good mic instead, like one with a spit guard or something? You've got contacts.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, first thing we've got to do, those guys who are patiently waiting to see who won the raffle for the IL2 Sturmovik game. We'll just put you over to this screen for a moment, and the winner for that is going to be... What? So literally, it was on Games Twitcher, and I pressed draw, and Games Twitcher got it.
What the hell is he a sub by any chance?
No, this isn't sub affected actually.
Is it not?
So
Okay.
no. So actually Games Twitcher, that wasn't a bug. That was actually legitimately that switching it because it says announce winner in chat again.
So small.
I know, right? Jesus. Well,
Terrible,
Games
isn't it?
Twitcher, you are the winner of that one, and I give you this with a slight air of reluctance, seeing as you are one of the biggest trolls in my chat, but we are fair here. We like to do things fairly, so
He knows to. He doesn't cross the line at times, Game Twitcher. He tries to troll just enough that you can't ban him without being a little bit unfair. You know, he's that kind of troll, and that's the annoying kind.
All right, okay. So we've opened up the raffle again. This is for the next player to play against DevM. Fredbrick was an absolutely great choice, and thank you everybody in chat that recommended him, because that was probably one of the best games that we've cast today.
It was the best game we've cast today. Just to give you a quick recap, our first game of the day was Artivik trying to beat the reigning king Nagano, who was at that point on his fifth game in total. He needed his fifth king game to win. That came up against Von Ivan, and he disposed of him very easily in 24 minutes, in my opinion. We then saw a game to crown the king in waiting for the season 3, because we've jumped across seasons in this game after we crowned our second king. And in that case, it was Barton versus DevM. 28 minutes of rip-roaring action. And now we've got the reigning king, king in waiting, DevM. He just faced C# or Fredbrick in brackets, as Ishtari has put it on the spreadsheet, and he'll be on to his second king game very shortly indeed. Posting the
It's going to be
brackets.
interesting. I mean, he's used up USF now, which means DevM has the ability to pick one of the 4 factions in his next 4 games that remain. Sorry, so no more USF. That's one of his strong. You know what I mean? That's one of his strong picks, and I think he's going to be glad he picked that, because it was definitely worth picking a faction he plays well against Fredbrick there. So now he's got options of Brits, Austere, OKW, and Soviets. So
Cool.
we're going to choose the player who goes next. So I'll get you guys back over to the screen. We're going to draw now. And it's going to be Memento Mori 420. You are the winner of this raffle, which means you get to pick. Do you want to play against DevM, or do you want to nominate someone from chat? I can see we've got a couple of people in here who are good players, by the way.
That's right, Memento Mori 420. You have won the raffle, and it's now your time to name or shame, nominate or dominate, choose or lose, elect or be wrecked. You have the power to either play or pick a player to play for you.
Have you turned your mic down?
Maybe your PC is in a defensive position. Oh no, I reinstalled Skype, didn't I? So do you know that setting that automatically throttles what you do?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's that setting in Skype that what it does, if you're really loud, it'll defend itself like in a fetal position. It'll turn you down. So I'll change that setting. Probably a good setting, in fairness, for my particular style of casting.
Mementori hasn't picked anything just yet, so still waiting. In fact, we've given it enough time, really, so I think we'll roll again. Oh no, he says I pick Captain S. Price. Is Captain Price actually back yet? I think he will be. So yeah, that's fine. We can get him to play the next game, assuming Price accepts. Waiting to see it in chat.
Yeah, sorry about my lack of talking. Now I'm trying to find out where that bloody setting is.
No, it's fine.
So annoying.
Not seeing anything.
So annoying.
Not seeing anything from Price yet. I don't actually think he might even be home yet. So I remember he was saying that he had to get back. Okay, so it looks like Price isn't there. Maybe take another pick. You've got Woofio in chat. You've got Vipux in chat. These guys are great players, possibly able to take down DevM if they play the game of their lives. Mementori actually picks Tenchi. Tenchi SC2.
Interesting choice.
Well, Tenchi's going to get the shock of a lifetime playing against DevM.
Oh god. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Is he definitely been chosen then now?
I'm guessing, yeah, Tenchi's in chat. He's not saying no, so Tenchi is going to be the pick. We will invite him into the game now. Set up that game. Hey, if you want to do a little rundown, I will just set all the screen stuff I need to.
Okay, it's time for AE's rundown of State of the Community 2017. You may have felt a little bit of a lull in activity in the Company Heroes 2 community. I think we're starting to make a bit of a resurgence. I do get for example, the second most viewed fans is the subreddit, and the statistics are back up for this month. They were going down, so we're back up. Kotu.org as well, starting to see little flickers of reactivity emerging. I think it comes and goes with patches, so a lot of the players won't be playing whilst we're waiting for a patch, and then as soon as the patch hits, people get back into it. You've already started to see it with the streamers as well, of course. Lovenest making his return from dormancy. One of the best, we've had a lot of players come back recently. Casters such as myself are back interested as well. So it's an interesting time to be a Company Heroes 2 fan, in my opinion. And Stormus and I are doing this series right now. We may have very big announcements coming, so definitely stay tuned for next week's King of the Hill, as we may be in a position to announce something we've been working on in secret. I'm not going to say more than that at this time, because we won't announce something big until we're fully ready to do so, because there's no point in going half measures. Although I think King of the Hill is very big in its own right, and I'm very happy with how it's going. It's from a tournament organizer perspective, it's very low effort for me, because Stormless does all the work, and Ishtari keeps the record, so I just have to turn up every Sunday and cast. So Very good to see.
Yeah, it's been a pretty fun event so far, actually. Oh, don't touch that. It's the only way I know if that rings is if it vibrates over. Yeah, it's been a really good event actually so far. It's definitely been like a pleasure casting it every Sunday. We've had some great games. We've got to see how the balance is going. Remember, this patch hits in March, so we're getting a really good idea of what's going to be strong and what people are going to be playing, what the new meta is going to be. So yeah, it's been good fun. And we've always had a pretty good turnout, keeping the KOTU competitive scene alive and strong. But I just want to show you guys this actually, because DevM only found this out yesterday. So for winning Warpaint Championship, DevM got a special faceplate that nobody else has, and he only realized yesterday that he had this, which is this one here, this nice gold faceplate with the Warpaint Championship thing on there. So
it is a very sexy faceplate. I was admiring it. And that is just so DevM. He like barely plays KOTU. He comes in and says, "Hang on, watch this faceplate." And it's like an amazing faceplate that Rita Rush has made for him for winning Warpaint Championship Series. And yeah, that's him, all right. So he's now got the sexiest faceplate in the game, seemingly. I'm sure the girls will love him for, you know. He's gonna get women following him around. Oh, Captain S Price is back in chat now, Dan. So you may want to.
If only he was here 3 minutes ago.
Oh, is Tenchi rising to the furrow?
Yeah, Tenchi's they're actually already about to just start the game. So Price, good that you're back. Try and raffle him for the next one. You did get picked, but like we have to leave it like a minute or so before. Do you know what I mean? Before we start.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't go back on our situation. Once we said re-roll, we re-roll or re-pick, if you will. Yeah, forever if we did that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things like we especially used to get from like ESL and everything, like voting for games to play, is that it becomes this whole issue of like, oh, the casters are waiting around. It only takes long enough to get into games. If you guys want to play, be on the ball, be in chat, wait for it. Raffle next time. But we've got 2 players who are ready to play here now. We're going to see... in fact, I'm not going to spoil the factions. You guys can just wait and see what's picked. So I believe they're about to start. We're going to go over to the weight lobby. And we'll see you guys very shortly for DevM versus Tenchi. Guys on stream at the moment, just want to say thank you very much to everybody who continually supports this tournament week on week. It's a pleasure casting for all of you here. of course, as usual, just to give something back to you guys, we do have giveaways going on. This time we're going to go with a triple giveaway. The first person that wins is going to get a copy of Men of War Assault Squad 2, courtesy of Von Klug. And the other two we will give away Commander DLC. So I've opened the raffle already, ! raffle, and we will draw those 3 after this game is finished. Players are just starting now, so we've got about 3 minutes before it goes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the exciting Propaganda Cast with me, your host, Imperial Day, Master of Propaganda, Hero of the Right, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off today with our exciting versus one on Angerville Farms between here the Lieutenant Reichsfuhrer of the Panzertruppen fighting for the glorious Deutschland, Hermann Göring Felsenpegen. 2, it's Tenchi. He's up against the Soviet horde of Asian fanatics played by DevM.
a lovely Imperial Dane impression there. Yes, of course, it is DevM playing his third game, I believe. Yeah, that's right, his third game. He's already beaten... God, who has he beaten? Who has he beaten? I've forgotten already.
He's beaten many a foe, has DevM so far. First of all, he won the contender bout between him and Barton PL after Nagano was our second crowned king. And then he has to win now 5 games in a row with 5 different factions. First of all, he went up as USF against Fred Brick's OKW. Second game as the king in waiting, now up against Tenshi. He's chosen for Soviets, one of the 5 factions he's got to play as. And Tenshi's playing as the Wehrmacht.
Of course, yeah, and Tenshi, if you don't know, relatively new member of the community. He is a professional caster for StarCraft 2. He's got that sick APM. I was watching him at the weekend playing from my computer. Genuinely scared I would have to rekey my keyboard. But that, of course, means nothing in this game when you're coming up against one of the best strategists who has played. We want to be seeing Tenshi really keep on top of DevM's huge aggression. And DevM, of course, picking the Soviets. This is the... first and only time he'll be picking this faction during his reign as king.
If anybody wants to just doubt my Dane impression for a moment, I am actually friends with Imperial Dane, and I actually asked his advice for the best and longest brigade that the Wehrmacht player could be playing as, and he came up with the Hermann Goering, whatever that was. So yeah, he actually helped me with the intro, which is very funny of him.
If there's one good thing about Dane, he does have a good sense of humour.
He really does. You know, he's an oddball. He's a veteran caster of 7,000 casts, but he's got a very good sense of humour as Dane, and him and I actually get on quite well.
I didn't mean to say if there's one good thing, because I do like Dane. What I meant is, like, he does have a good sense of humour. That came out completely wrong, and I'm sorry, Dane, if you're listening to this. Don't kill me.
In the best possible way, Dan. You're being a little bit neurotic recently. You're scared that people love you, man. You're one of the best casters in the community. Nobody's judging you. We all love you. This is a safe place.
Terrified of rejection, eh?
You really are. You're like, God, if everybody saw what I said 2 weeks ago. Nobody remembers. It's fine. You're great. We all love you, Dan. Everybody in chat say how much they love Dan and his casting.
Aww. As great as that is, I'm more concerned about watching my good friend Tenshi get wrecked by DevM, which is the inevitability of this game. Tenshi actually manages to take a very pivotal building outside DevM's base. He's going to put an MG in there and hope that DevM doesn't have the counter to it. But, of course, DevM already teching the Molotov is going to be able to flush him out of that building very, very quickly. And here comes the flank right now.
Yeah, DevM's been playing on Angerville for most of his adult life, or his adolescent life, rather. This guy's an absolute beast, and Tenshi is a StarCraft 2 player. He is not a Company of Heroes player, although he does masquerade as one from time to time. Interestingly, Dan, when we were in London, he was actually somebody that other people recognised. Oh, Tenshi! It's that Tenshi guy, the caster! He was actually a miniature celebrity, and I find that really odd.
Yeah, it was. It's nice. He's well known. You'd be surprised. Like a lot of the time when I'm playing StarCraft with him, I always get this. Are you the Tenshi, the caster? I'm like, hey, that's cool. It's my friend. But yeah, I mean, this is a game where he holds no celebrity status at the moment whatsoever. If he beats DevM, he will be revered as one of the greatest StarCraft players to walk into this game. But you can all place your bets on whether
he's already my pick for the best, to be honest. I watched all the StarCraft pros. I actually followed them because I was a bit of a StarCraft fan when Company Heroes 2 first hit, because I played Alpha and thought the game was going to be shit. So I actually started playing StarCraft in the build-up to the release of Company Heroes 2. That's a true story, by the way. And I actually followed the StarCraft players as they tried to make it in Company Heroes 2 in the very first tournament of 2013, and they all failed absolutely miserably. And there's one reason for that, is it because Company Heroes 2 is a slower game where experience and tactical play matters. You cannot out-LPM your opponents through brute force alone. It just does not work.
No, you're absolutely right. Interesting game. DevM here hasn't secured his fuel very well. He's been trying to deny Tenshi. He's got the strategic point on the left-hand side, but it's actually Tenshi who's holding fuel at the moment, a very, very important resource for Oster. You see the MG go down?
I just saw the MG go down. You heard my exasperation. But DevM's not taking it, surprisingly. The Pioneers have been able to pick it up, so Tenshi's still in this game.
Yeah, it's, I think it's a little bit too close to the base. Maybe the base MG, it's close. Not sure he would have taken any suppression there. Probably could have got away with it. Yeah, DevM playing a very cautious game here at the moment. He's definitely got the infantry to make these progressive pushes. But he's getting bounced around a lot, and I think this is just down to how conscripts are on mass, actually. Going these conscripts, you know, he's really giving Tenchi a little bit of a chance here for fair engagements.
He is. I also think this speaks of DevM's lack of expertise with Soviets. This guy wants to play it in a way that he is familiar with. He doesn't want to go for a tier 2 or a tier 1 play, anything unfamiliar. Because, quite frankly, he's only really have played USF and Ostia in this game.
Yeah,
What was that from DevM? Did you see that? He missed the opportunity to focus down that grenadier. What the hell? That's really rusty from him. I was not expecting that. Like, that was a misplay from DevM. He could have focused down the grenadier and killed it, but he missed the opportunity. What the hell?
I'm relatively sure this is DevM being very nice to Tenchi right now. Relatively certain that's the situation that's going on. But yeah, that's cool. I think, as you say, DevM's experimenting with these conscripts that he just doesn't really use this faction very much, and it's going to be interesting to see how he techs. Is his teching going to be on time? Is his teching, you know, he's going to be actually probably looking at the cost of things, which is a very unnatural thing to do when you play high-level RTS. You should really know those values offhand.
I just imagine DevM with the booklet for the PC game out. How does faction work?
Let's see. Oh, okay, right, so this and this.
One hand on the game, the other hand on a guide for the faction. Just, what's this? Conscript, build conscripts? Well, he's actually probably reading the Lenny guide to conscripts.
Yes, like from 2013 kind of thing.
Yeah, which is 12 conscripts and Molotovs. This is legit Lenny strategies here right now.
And I know Tenchi's a very good micro player, but he just missed the wind-up for a conscript throwing a Molotov. And I would wager a rank 800 auto-match player wouldn't have missed that cue. But because Tenchi isn't...
Let me tell you Tenchi's weakness, and I can tell you exactly what it is right now, because I don't know if you were there at the PC Gamer weekend when I played against Tenchi, and we were like sitting a couple of computers away from each other, the developers were there, Tenchi's like, I'm going to wreck you, Danny. And I'm like, no you're not, because all I need to do is lay mines and watch Tenchi kill himself. Because because his APM is so high, he doesn't watch any of the units, right? He just flings them around all over the place at like super speed. And that backfires against him because it means that he's not like carefully studying the screen for, you know, for telltale signs of traps. So you just lay a bunch of mines and Tenchi will guaranteed walk into every single one of them and end himself the game. So that is his
biggest facepalm ever watching you and him play on 2v2 is you were Axis at the time. It was a VP battle, and he refused to just push with you in the center and the left. As Axis, you pick a side and you go for the center. You don't try and push on all fronts in 2v2 ever. It's the unspoken rule of Company Heroes, and he refused to do it because of his lack of meta knowledge. You know, it was so frustrating. Everybody in chat was screaming at him when he just like you were just like trying to tell him in TeamSpeak, why don't you push with me? And he just wouldn't listen.
But we still won that game, I would just like to point out. So
you carried him, to be fair.
I don't know, the Stemtiga and the Stuka did a damn load of work, to be honest. I think they took down the IS-2 in the end. But anyway, back to this game where we have one of the more stranger games that DevM has played. The scout car comes in to thwart this flank from DevM, coming around the side with the conscripts. I don't think there are any 18 aids teched, and it's not like DevM to miss. There are. No,
there aren't any 18 aids teched right now, so you're probably going to be teching them very shortly. You just have the 5 conscript platform in order to wield them, so I'd advise you get on with that. However, have the Tankogi Battalion command up, and DevM is now teching the T-70, so he's got a natural counter coming.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to go for. T-70 is the obvious choice. And, sorry, T-70 is already building, sorry. I realised as I was talking then.
Is my mic low or something? Is my mic low?
It did. I saw it got lower after the last game, but no, that was just me being an idiot, actually.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
As usual, ignoring you.
Flashbacks to when we started casting, and we didn't have the endurance to both cast the game and listen to each other at the same time.
We've got a little bit better, I like to think.
I'd think so, yeah. Ooh, MG in a dire situation, but the conscripts mozzing the Gants on retreat, are focusing down on retreat, and notoriously shit.
Yeah, they are. Even standing still, those guys are pretty.
Grenadier.
Pretty.
Oh, what's Tenchi doing? Oh, God, sorry for getting too excited and interrupting you inadvertently at times, but I just can't help myself. I'm a proper fanboy, you know. I let out little excited squeaks from time to time.
T70 coming in to try and clear some of these garrisons. Its focus will probably now be redirected to the scout car, which is, again, just trying to force conscripts off. I'm not even sure scout car is the best idea against 5 units that carry AT grenades. Your micro has to be very, very on point to stop that unit from getting wiped. DevM is about to come in the chase here with that T70, hopefully wiping that Pioneer.
Very, very valuable Pioneer. Veterancy 2 could be repairing tanks in the late game, getting him back onto field, but now it's dead.
It's dead.
Indeed. Fickable, fast and interesting question, Stormless, in a follow-up to your earlier quip at Tenchi. Stormless, how would you beat AE?
How would I beat AE? I think I would build lots of indirect fire units, because when one of those squad wipes you get really angry.
Yeah, I do.
You start shouting and letting go of the keyboard and the mouse, arms flailing in the air. Like, ah! You're like, screw you, Relic, why you do this? And then that's just my
I always
chance
blame
to...
myself. I never blame Relic. I always like, hey, you fucking dick, move your units or something.
Attempting to steal our sector.
Interestingly, check out DevM in the far west. He's waiting for the MG to come into view with the conscripts waiting in bait down, and then he's going to jump into action and flank the MG. That is DevM as a masterclass for you.
Yeah, that really was nice, using line of sight there, using this tiny little bush, I think, to get some of the cover. But the big engagement right now is happening in the center to the east side of the map. DevM's trying to chase down a very low health Grenadier squad. It's going to get suppressed by the MG. Scout car not doing too much at the moment. And just considering this is a conscript only build, I mean, they're just doing so much work.
I think this is a nice experience for Tenchi. He's got this his impression that he is awesome at playing RTS games, and it's the game's fault whenever he loses. It's RNG. But here he's up against a true master. Somebody no StarCraft player on their right mind could ever hope to beat. He's a professional gamer who's in a League of Legends team. He plays for money and he wins money on a regular basis. He's a top 100 in in Europe right now for League of Legends. He's only played about 80 games. He's that damn good. So for Tenchi right now, this is showing you that skill matters in Company Heroes 2. Experience matters, tactics matters, strategy matters, and you're going to get your arse whipped.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an unfortunate one. I feel bad. Like, Tenchi was really keen to play today. He's like, Danny, I'm going to play King of the Hill today. I didn't envision that he'd come up against DevM. Like, I was kind of thinking, you know, maybe when Nagano wins, he could be one of the starting players. But do you know what's really nice, though? He's one of these people, like, you know, he's played Company Heroes before, and he's just gone, do you know what, like, I really love this game. I want to get involved in the competitive scene. And he's trying, you know. He's already basically, in the space of maybe 5 months, got up to my rank in 1v1. So, do you know what I mean? He's done a damn good job, and we have some pretty good games together. But
there's a hell of a lot of difference between being rank 100 and then coming up agained the best pound for pound player of all time, you know.
Yeah. It's like me coming up against DevM, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It would be a similar game.
It's very, very similar, I guess, jumping ship and then coming up against DevM. It's like when he said to you, I want to play in King of the Hill today, it's like, he's like a fencer and he's going to try boxing and saying, Daddy, I want to try boxing. You're like, are you sure, son? Yes, please. In his first match, he gets in his prime, late 1980s Mike Tyson, you know.
A little unfortunate. But, you know, he's 15 minutes in, still holding relatively strong on the VPs. Needs to get a little bit more control over his MG. Trying to get some lines of sight with the Puma, but he's a little bit scared of the conscript 18 aids right now. And once again, DevM just making such great work with the Molotovs. MG's forced to come out of there. Fortunately, the second one in the larger building behind it going to be able to provide some suppression. But big question is, of course, can Tenchi get the resources? And if he does get the resources, is it just going to be Puma spam into the end of this game?
Interestingly, you'll see, by the way, we're on Winter Balance patch for those that aren't in the know. Guard's rifle just dropped to PTRS. It was picked up by the conscript. The Guard's rifle now has the opportunity to rebuy its PTRS. So overall, that's a win for DevM. He's got more PTRSs than when he started. That's just a little feature of Winter Balance patch.
Oh, DevM actually made perhaps a little bit of a mistake there with the T70. Then she tries to smoke to avoid the AT grenade, but it's already tracked it. Can he get that last shot on the T70 to kill it? Looks like just got out too quick.
It has indeed. However, the Puma is now going to be able to idle back to base, as is the T-70. Both can lick their wounds and return to battle in no time.
Scout car's coming in now. I wonder if he's going to try and switch out and go for the T-70. It's not actually there at the moment. He needs to be careful he doesn't take 18-8 with those guards nearby, otherwise it'll be the end of the scout car.
We have several 100 extra new viewers in chat. They're currently watching King of the Hill, DevM, reigning king, third king match coming up against the StarCraft 2-player in Tenchi. It's been a great game so far, 16 minutes in on Angerville Farms, but what do you fancy about Tenchi's chances, Stormless?
I mean, he's doing relatively well. DevM is slow on the tech at the moment. You mentioned that he doesn't play this faction very often, which is absolutely correct. I mean, bear in mind he doesn't even play this game very often, so there's definitely an advantage to be upheld there from Tenchi. But Tenchi has, of course, selected Mobile Defense, a commander that famously prevents Austere from having any decent late-game potential. So I think it's going to be in DevM's hands, if I'm totally honest. I think... whoa, did you... Conscript missed the grenade! Like, it...
Yes, they did. That is weird.
That's a
I've not
terrible
seen that
throw!
That was awful. I think they've been on the...
Well done, Ivan! You throw like baby girl! That was actually hilarious. I've never seen that happen before.
This 222's done well for itself. Veterancy 2, 7 kills. T-70 in turns got 6 kills, Veterancy 2, so a lot of health damage done throughout the game for both vehicles.
Only that T-70 at the moment. DevM's got to be going for the T-34 85s unlocked from his guard motor coordination doctrine. Surviving on the T-70 at the moment, and he hasn't got that much infantry on the field anymore. DevM also doesn't have that much manpower, so he's definitely not going completely easy on Tenchi by any means.
No, I think the game's on now, by the way. I think Tenchi started to pull back into it with his endurance. That lends itself very well to StarCraft play. DevM just, by the way, lost another conscript. He's down to 2 losses for the game total. Tenchi, by comparison, has lost 1 Pioneer and 1 MG, which he recruited.
Actually, a little bit impressed by this. The VPs are well in DevM's hand at the moment, but DevM
Did the T-70 just go down, Dan?
The T-70 went down to the Puma, yeah, it did. It got Fausted, I believe, engine damage, and then Puma finished it off. It's going to be the T-34-85 with a couple of conscript versus a much better army from Tenchi here. He's got the MGs. His chances are on.
Nice to see as well. He's also got the PaK-40 coming out, and the PaK-40 will maintain him in this game. A lot of players haven't been using it in this episode of King of the Hill today, and it's been very odd to see. So I'm glad he's getting it out in due course.
This is one of the nice things that I'm really going to enjoy about the new format for King of the Hill, because it's no longer about, you know, stick with the faction you're best at, dominate all the games and win. To be the king, you have to be proficient in all factions. This is where a player like DevM is going to start losing out a little bit, because he just hasn't got the familiarity that he needs to be, like, you know, outstanding excellent in that specific faction. I think actually he didn't go for the 85 variant on his T-34, which I'm surprised about, because I thought the 85 would be much better. Not needed, but better.
It might have been a misclick. This guy barely plays Soviets. He genuinely is trying to micro an entire army against a high APM player in kind. He may have just clicked the wrong bloody tank, and I wouldn't... that's something DevM could have done. I think he actually misclicked that mortar in the previous game.
Well, wait, let's just perhaps look at one of the benefits of it. Is T-34 76 variant is 100 fuel. The 85 is 135, I think. So actually, you probably get 2 T-34s out in the field instead of the 1 T-34 76, which might actually help him against multiple Pumas. I mean, he's a good Austere player, so maybe he's thinking, Puma spam, what's going to give me the best odds?
I've seen that many misclicks in top-level Company of Heroes 2 players. I've seen buildings built twice, entirely wrong doctrines chosen. Many a time have I cast or had a tournament on the go, and a player's told me after, I completely did not mean to do that. It's in these games are so pressurized, so frenzied. It takes makes any auto match game look like child's play, and I completely would expect that something like that could happen. I'm not saying it has happened, but it definitely could.
DevM just drops the engineers there. Another squad wipe. It looks like Tenchi with the double Pumas should be able to counter the T-34 76. DevM is trying to go for the triple cap. He's going to try and just drain his opponent down, but I think he's feeling the pressure for sure.
By the way, we just had a Vet 2 MG get taken down near the northern victory point there. DevM with another great win. Tenchi starting to show signs of
The
weakness.
enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
He shouldn't lose with his current build at the moment. I mean, he's in an absolutely great position. 80 gun may... Oh, didn't have a shot. And the T-34-76 may get a last one off now.
God Squad also went down in the melee, and it looks like Tenchi might be pushing back. He's got spirit, fighting spirit.
Wow, he's being really risky with that T-34, trying to work it around the AT gun. DevM's possible late retreats there, and the Puma's coming in to try and take down the rest of the health remaining. Could it be a bait though for these PTRSs?
Could be, I don't know, but the T-34-76 definitely couldn't go into the open. It's got to juke out behind the garrisons to get away. DevM's got great game sense here. The Puma, however, might be finding it very soon. We see anti-tank rifle grenade go in, and oh my god, that was the MG getting the kill on the Puma. Holy crap.
You sure that wasn't the PTRS?
No, it's definitely the PTRS. It looked like the MG though, because that was firing at the time. Then
Oh my god, he gets the second one! He got the second one in the building! That's both of the Pumas going down there in quick succession, thanks to a great little play by DevM, completely reversing the situation with barely anything to work with on the field. Second C-34-76 will go and smash the scout car, reducing it to tank versus infantry gameplay.
I can't believe DevM's army though, Dan. He's got 2 conscripts, third one building. I know he's taken out the Pumas, but he's still in a difficult position, and Tenchi's playing very well indeed. Best game we've ever seen from the man.
Yeah, he's putting up a very good performance actually. I think he's managed to get a Faust off here as well, double Faust. Doing a reasonable amount of damage. He's a little bit off the Puma at the moment. In fact, if he gets a little bit more fuel, he should be able to chase this down still. He's making the right decision here. Grenadiers coming in for sight with the AT gun defending.
We have 100
These Fausts have just gone off
remaining.
cooldown as well, and he has 36 munitions and counting. He's got another Faust in him. He's got the Pac-40 in position. The T-34-70 second one built is about to go down. DevM all of a sudden is looking in a difficult and tricky position. Conscripts try and
Surely
make the
he's going to
save.
make that shot. Surely he's going to take that shot with the AT gun. That's a dead... Oh, he's going in for the sight with the Grenadiers, trying to Faust it as well.
Got it.
Yes, he
Pac
goes down.
2-man. Killer Faust from distance. However, the Pac-40 is now crewable. He may have just given his opponent one of the worst things you can give them, and a Pac-40. This game is swings and roundabouts.
Well, the only thing DevM has on his side right now is, of course, time with the 490 VPs he's got. It's really up to Tenchi right now to make the plays, but DevM has nothing on the field. Like, Tenchi could just go straight up to the base, capture all territory, and get himself in a really good footing to play, you know, with a bit more of the Puma variant, maybe even tech up to something like a Stug. But
Great utility from Tenchi. Brings on the Ostroup reserves. Unfortunately, no LMG roll, but this will allow him to cap the victory point to keep him in the game. Unfortunately, though, in the West, he's gone for the fuel with the Pioneers. He needs to focus on victory points, and this is a lack of experience showing through.
he's on that VP now.
Oh, he's gone for it. Yes, he's realised his error, and he's changed his mind. He's gone straight for the victory point after lingering on the fuel.
It's a nice little retreat of that MG there from DevM. He's not got that many units on the field left to micro, so he's going to be very careful with what he is doing. Interestingly, again, one of the changes from the Winter Balance preview, the PTRS that's picked up here by these conscripts will be equivalent value to the penal PTRS, not the guards who dropped it.
Conscripts oorad into the centre circle. They're up against newly buffed Pioneers with a bit more accuracy near, and I don't think DevM realises it. He's used to them being crap, quite frankly, and they're currently beating his conscripts and holding the victory point.
I mean, if DevM starts rebuilding his army right now, and if he really pays a little bit of attention to that, I think he'll, you know, definitely got a very good chance of winning the game still, given he has time to kind of counter everything. Tenchi is in a very, very strong position, and I hope he realizes the kind of chance he has right now to come in and beat perhaps one of the greatest KOTU players ever in the scene. If he does it, I'll be a little bit jealous, to be honest.
It'll be such bragging rights for Tenchi, and hopefully it'll give him the bug to play this game to a higher level if he manages to beat. And it's not maybe, it's not possibly. DevM is the best pound-for-pound Company Heroes player of all time. He's won way more Mage tournaments than anybody else. So yeah, it would be bragging rights that I think everybody in Twitch chat right now would be very envious of.
Well, another 76 is in. I noticed Tenchi has been laying some telemines around the centre of the map, which will give him an excellent chance of snaring and finishing off the T-34-76. He's got a Puma on the field now, so if it trips that snare, we'll be able to sort that out.
This pack 40 that was stolen, it cannot be understated enough for DevM. He's got that now. He's never going to be out of position with it, and the Pumas are going to have very difficult work on their hands.
DevM nearly got the building crushed there. He was aiming for the corners of the buildings with that T-34. Very low health.
The enemy is taking our territory.
I mean, it would be such a long game for Tenchi to win from here. You know, just based on everything that's happened during the start. It's a huge amount of VPs to come back from.
We've got DevM taking the western victory point right now. Ostrupen coming into view though. The T-34-76 reversing into scope. Elsewhere in the east, we've got the stolen MG-42 getting into position. So this actually could be death knell for Tenchi if DevM can hold.
Yeah, still got that one VP to kind of clasp onto. These Grenadiers should have no problem clearing off the conscripts there. Yeah, really, there's not much. If an MG locks down and DevM's paying attention, he will easily be able to suppress all of these squads that come into him.
Look at that blob from Tenchi, macro blobbing into scope. Conscript, poor conscript caught out of position.
I'm sensing the Puma coming in here, trying to clear up the last bits of remaining health from that T-34. However, a second one comes in, main gun destroyed instantly. It's going to be a chase for this Puma, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go down.
There we go, the most huge tank of the Second World War, going up against the armoured car, and he's one more shot. Although he's not targeting, just targets vehicles now, unfortunately. Didn't at the time, and he focused on a grenade, and he missed his opportunity. Very good comment from the Twitch chat there. Awesome. Some people ropey or whatever it says. Need some mines. It's very true of both players. Not seeing enough mines in this game, in my opinion. But everybody knows mines win games.
Yeah, because I mean, Tenchi has been laying the mines. We've got a Talon in a very critical position coming across from center. We may see the T-34-76 trip. Not sure. I haven't actually seen any others, but we know that he's kind of laying them down here and there. Hasn't had any luck yet, though.
As Gren's found out of position by the T-34-76. Tenchi hasn't seen it. This could be a wide vet-free Grenadier if he's not careful. Oh,
go down. Very unfortunate loss. He needs to be keeping hold of that infantry army. Big problem for him though is he doesn't have the anti-tank to deal with this situation. T-34s on either side are going to be able to easily clear up any of the infantry. I think that's going to spell the end of the game from him.
And this is why Common Heroes can actually be a more punishing game than StarCraft at times. In StarCraft, you never have one of your best, most high-priority units in a peripheral engagement capping a victory point, because you wouldn't really need it. You go and make your expansion bases, but you keep all your main forces possibly in 1 or 2 meta movements. In this game, it's very possible you have a very high-priority Vet-3 Grenadier in a position you're not expecting, and it gets wiped whilst you're not looking at it. Common Heroes can be brutal in that sense.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
The mechanics certainly do differ. Third T-34-76 is going to come in from DevM, but the VPs have closed. Very good attempt from Tenchi, I have to say. But
well played, Tenchi. Fantastic game from the Swede there. He played out of his skin to even take 48 victory points away from DevM. But it wasn't about the victory points in this game, it was about the match itself. It was fantastic from him.
That was, yeah. Nice to see DevM playing Soviets. We don't get to see that very often. Yeah, I mean, let's have a look at the score. Fairly even, to be honest, on the score. Although you can't really say that, because to get even an equal KD with Soviets is basically a you did well situation, isn't it? Especially playing with the conscripts. But anyway, let's go back to the lobby. We'll move on to our next, possibly last game of the evening. It was a good game. Enjoyed that. Well done, Tenchi.
Yeah, well done, Tenchi. Well done, DevM. DevM is on a roll right now. We've got Ishtari updating the spreadsheet in real time. Just won his 3rd game as King game. He won his contender game against Barton PL, and since then he's thwarted saying C# or Fredbrick and Tenchi most recently, and now he's ready to play on a faction he's barely ever played against. It's either going to be OKW or Brits for DevM.
Are those the last two remaining ones? Yeah, they are.
Oh
aren't
no,
they?
he has
Cool.
Wehrmacht as well, doesn't he? Technically.
Yeah, he can
because-
play Oster the other side. What's this? I see. Got Cash Grab Talisman messaging me in Steam at the moment. That can't be Talisman. Surely not. Surely not. Okay, guys. We did a raffle before we started that game, saying that we're going to give away a triple giveaway at the moment. It's going to be 1 copy of Men of War Assault Squad, and it's going to be 2 Commander DLCs. So I'm going to put you guys over to the screen for the moment. This was the winner from the last raffle. So the first winner is going to be Solid Soul. Solid Soul, congratulations. You've won yourself a copy of is it Men at War or Men of War? Who cares? So, Assault Squad. So I will message you that. The next winner is going to be Shoot the Fuker. You are the next winner of the raffle there. You've won yourself a Company of Heroes 2 Commander DLC code, which I will message you with what you can pick later on. And the third one for today is going to be Arov. Arov, congratulations. You've also won yourself a Company of Heroes 2 Commander. So 2 Commander DLC giveaways, 1 game giveaway. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the raffle now as well for the next person to play against DevM. So if you think you can take him, if you think you know someone who can take him, see Price is very eager to play a game at the moment, then !raffle. Your raffle will be added, and winners get to choose or lose.
News from the front. I'm really annoyed that you even said a little bit of my spiel, by the way. That's mine. You're not allowed to say any of it.
I was
Anyway.
looking at you when I said it, just wanting the reaction, like, yes.
Yeah, you're judging my reactions quite harshly today, I've noticed. I mean, I'm always used to like shaking my head and saying, "Shut the fuck up, Dan. I want to speak now." But I'm not used to you watching me whilst I'm doing it. For God's sake, I'm speaking to DevM in Steam at the moment. The mortar was a misclick. Did not mean to use the mortar, so AE was right on that one. However, the T-3476 wasn't a misclick. He did intend to use them, so I was wrong on that one. You were right on that. DevM's got one comment he wants to say. He's got no things for chat, but he's just saying overall fun, but sloppy games. Didn't want to go meta with Soviets was his thing, so it's interesting from him. I'll ask him a few questions about the other factions.
Yeah, sorry, just speaking to DevM then, he's just asking about what options he has left for the rest of the tournament. Just making sure
We're
he's
both
available.
speaking to him at the moment. It's a bit of a DevM spit roast as we both inundate him with questions in Skype. He says it's going to be interesting playing Brits and OKW Kappa. He's barely ever played them, to be honest, so it's going to be very interesting indeed.
Just on the raffle draw for the next person, it is Maka21121. Maka, do you want to play against DevM, or do you want to nominate someone in the chat to play against DevM? As I've already said, Captain Price reckons he can wrecked DevM. So if you think he can do it, now's the time.
Yeah, Maka's a little bit of a troll at times, so I fully expect him to designate a fellow troll in Captain S. Price, because they're kind of a fraternity, aren't they, these guys? They usually stick together like sand people.
Birds of a feather.
Roar, 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 roar.
Soon they'll be back, but in greater numbers.
I hope Price realizes that like Barton got humiliated. Well, I say humiliated. He played a good game, but I mean, like, Barton lost by a significant number of VPs earlier when he came up against DevM. Solid Soul, yes, you did win something. I will message you after the stream, so check your Twitch messages later on this evening. I won't do it now because obviously we're mid-cast, but you've won a copy of Men of War Assault Squad 2. So do we have anything from Maka yet? I can't see him in chat as saying anything. He says play. I want to play is what he says. He wants to play versus DevM. Okay, I can see it. Let's grab him into the game then. And this may have you got, how many games you got time for this evening?
You always put the pressure on me. It's you that said this is
I'm
3 till 7.
open-ended. I can. Oh, is it
You're
2 7?
open-ended, are you? Dear God, I'm not interested, mate. Keep it to yourself. Oh God. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I can cast one more, sure.
Sure. All right then. So this will probably be our last game of this evening. I'm going to invite DevM in.
Interestingly, DevM is saying that he's saving Ost here for a decent player.
Ooh.
No, he doesn't mean he didn't say that. He said that before the raffle was selected. He's just saying that. But to me, that implies if this guy's he's going to be up against isn't anything but top draw, he might save Fairmax.
I guess it's a sensible choice to play it only when you need it. Maka, I want you to go to chat in Company Heroes 2. Go to Co2 looking for group. This window will pop up, and when you are in here, just obviously say I'm Maka, and then in Twitch say, if you have a different name, say what your name is from your Twitch account, so I definitely know that it's you. Then I will invite you into the game. So obviously I'll be able to set up a wait screen in a minute whilst we're waiting for these players to come in. Oh, there we go, there's Maka. He's actually got the same name as well, which is always helpful when people keep the same aliases going. Do you want to just waffle a minute whilst I just set this up?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to waffle. I learn from the best, and I consider the best waffler in the game to be you, Dan. I've learned so much off you about that. Just pick a thing and just carry on talking and keep talking until you stop, and that can take a very long time, We could do a history corner with AE. That's always an opportunity. This day in World War II, I'm typing into the Second World War. Follow the World War as it happened. So today was the Lake Ladoga, the ice road that saved Leningrad. So Leningrad, of course, the biggest siege in human siege warfare history. Over 1 million people had died of cold and starvation, cannibalism. It was raging forth until Operation Iskra, the spark, finally saved Leningrad. But it was the ice road that kept them afloat in the meantime. It's always interesting to see when siege warfare makes its re-emergence. Because you've got sieges right now in Mosul. That was a siege for a while. You had, of course, the siege in northern Syria. By the way, DevM has 3 OKW commanders only, so his choices are limited.
Oh, he's only got the original 3?
Yes.
That's I honestly would have thought like OKW was one of his things, because he just loves playing with infantry and flying them around everywhere. That's right up his street, isn't it? Really.
Well, Company Heroes 2 isn't even one of his things.
Well,
he just plays. He plays just before a tournament, and then plays the tournament, and then goes back to playing League of Legends competitively.
He's naturally gifted, for sure. Yeah.
It's more, as I say, people try and make out he's a wunderkind, but he seriously put the hours in Company Heroes 1. From the age of 12 to the age of 17, he played nothing else but Company Heroes 1. And those kind of your formative years, your brain is still forming, and if you put yourself into a certain hobby and you don't try and go for it, you can make yourself into a wunderkind. He's a self-made man. He isn't just naturally gifted. I say that, I always stick to that. There's for example, anybody that knows the game of snooker, which is a 1 versus 1 game, it's tournament based, so it is a relevant thing to go on about. You got somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan, which is this genius guy. He gets the top of Reddit on sometimes, just Yanks and Europeans that don't even know what snooker is. They just watch him play, hitting a 147, and they're amazed by it.
Yeah.
And people say he's a genius. He's a naturally gifted, ambidextrous player. It's bullshit. He's a sad fuck that has played millions of hours of snooker, because his dad was in prison when growing up, so he lived in a snooker hall. That's why he's so good. It isn't because he likes to create this image of being natural. But humans aren't built to play Company Heroes 2 or play snooker or these fucking inane, arbitrary tasks. You have to earn your gifts in life. DevM's earned his gift when he played millions of hours of Company Heroes 1, etc. And that's why he can jump back in right now and be cash grab DevM when a big tournament rolls around. And it's our job as a community to be strong enough to thwart cash grab DevM and to have the players that can compete against him. And that's AE's rant for the day.
You may now all return to your relevant sectors.
Exactly. But I was trying to say this to guys like Ciez or Momo or Dusty at the time when DevM first came back for OCF after a 1.5-year hiatus. They were so salty. And I was just like, if you don't want to be salty, be good enough to beat him when he makes his return. And that's why we got this great to see get players like Love Nest or Helping Hands now that have the ability to
I just want to throw
him.
An alternate perspective to this, is that some of the greats in this game have their own play styles, and the problem is the people who aren't like directly at the top. They all just snap onto these like really strict metas that are presented to them. And then what happens is everybody just plays this meta. No one plays any diversity. No one has anything different to bring to the table. It's just about managing the same thing that you've done 100 times. So when a player like DevM comes in and throws you a curveball, players don't have the skills to react to it. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, oh no, someone's doing something different.
Well, of course,
this isn't normal.
I think that really showed itself when Aimstrong got to the final of OCF after not playing Company of Heroes 2 since 2013 when it first came out. He basically just surveyed the meta. He took a completely fresh approach to it and saw, what's this Centaur? That seems pretty fucking batshit OP. I'm going to use that. And he did. And he got to the final and made over $1,000, you know? That's crazy.
It was absolutely mental, really, wasn't it? Just
it really was.
Crazy. Anyway, we're about to start the game, so we'll go over to the wait screen. We've got about a minute left, so we'll be pretty quick into this one. Going to be the last cast of the day, so thank you guys for supporting, as always. Let's make this last one a pretty good game. God, that audio could literally not have come in at a better time. That was amazing. Hello everybody and welcome to our last game of King of the Hill for today. We have on the right side of Langriskai. Dude, this isn't even in the
right
map pool.
side, north, south?
Is this in the map pool? I don't think this is in the map pool.
Oh, let it fly. It's fine. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, we're watching the historious Company of Heroes player. This guy is an absolute legend. He's a legend to the scene. He's a fantastic player, and he's a really good Twitch commentator as well. It's Maka2112 in the south as the Brits. And he's up against somebody called Insane DevM. Have we heard of this guy at all?
I don't know, some idiot from Co1.
Yes, I have put a poll up in chat right now. I'll post it once again, and the poll is a bit of a death poll for Maka. How long will Maka2112 last against the notorious one?
Well, Langriskai is typically a map that does promote longer games just based on its design. This map has been changed fairly often, to be honest, in Company of Heroes 2. It's had changes to the spacing of the VPs, changes to the strategic cutoffs that used to be absolutely devastating in one territory, cutting off the entire map. DevM is going to rely on pure aggression here to get around the infantry forces of the Maka. If you can force them off the map early, it'll do a hell of a lot of damage.
Okay, the votes are coming in for the vote. I will unveil it at 5 minutes in game time. So you keep casting those votes. Very interesting to see which camp will win.
Well, Maka went right side for a pretty important building early on in the game. Did a little bit of work in pushing off that Volks Grenadier squad. Now he's got 2 squads to try and deal with the Stern Pioneers, but he's not utilizing the British cover benefits that give them that advanced rate of fire.
He's not, but he is now. He's got 2 Tommies watching over the Stern Pioneer, completely nullifying the unit. DevM's got a difficult retreat past them.
Oh, DevM's just gone straight for that lethal cutoff. And there's no real attention to resource here. He's overextended with 3 Tommy squads. They're about to get completely overshadowed. DevM's going to fast tech into his next tier. I'm not sure what he's going to go for, but it has to be the battle grouper if he's bought that tier truck out this early.
Yes, because he won't have the fuel for the mechanized, and he'll probably need to keep those Stern Pioneers healed because they're currently getting slaughtered. Very expensive unit to lose, and DevM realizes it. He hits retreat. Will he get away?
Sure here, the Tommies are lining up for a couple more shots. Again, not utilizing cover for the advanced rate of fire, but it does go down. Stern Pioneers wiped. DevM.
DevM does not understand how OKW work, by the way. He's barely played this faction, and they've changed so much since he played them. That's a 300 manpower unit he just lost, and it's the backbone of the OKW army.
I'm sorry, but I know he doesn't understand the units, but that is a starting unit. It's not like a teching fault, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
He's got 3 units on the field. Should have noticed that one.
What I mean is with Stern Pioneers you want to be a lot more careful than with DevM was, and he got himself in a tricky situation. And a player like Maka, who by the way is a 300 ranked player, well, that's his highest rank by the way, 317 as Brits. He took full advantage.
Definitely, yeah. Well, DevM's going to have to recover from that. Where's he going? He's got a battle grouper that he's building on his strategic cutoff. So, very, very adventurous from DevM. In fact, he's one of the few players with OKW confident enough to build an OKW tier structure outside of the base. If you guys didn't know this, you could build these buildings outside of your base territory. It gives you lots of wonderful features, like you can forward retreat to any area of the map that wants to be blasted away by Calliopes.
Also, in Company of Heroes, it gives opportunity for dynamic shrubbery. Shrubbery. You have such great foliage as the great spine running down the centre of Longroskaya, the small bushes that can be destroyed as shown by the Cube of Organ.
She's actually doing it right now as well. Yeah, Devon's locked down a really nice house here. One of the mistakes from Maka really is that he just didn't go for his resources straight away. One of the good things with Brits is, you know, they're so defensive, they're so hard to crack, that instead of being so aggressive with them, he could have just locked down his resources and kind of just built and built and built until he had a really strong army. He hasn't decided to do that. You know, hasn't decided to capitalize on his advantage over DevM not really being familiar with the OKW faction. So now he's starting to go over that side. It's a sensible choice. Game is still in an even setting, but definitely seen a huge mistake from Maka in the early game.
However, he's now got the sniper out, and he may actually start punishing DevM with DevM's most used unit in Company Heroes history, and he doesn't even have that ability to counter him because OKW don't have a sniper.
No, they certainly don't. But to be honest, given that Brits don't have a snare and the AC is not near in tech at the moment, the Kubel could do some serious damage against the sniper.
Why on earth is he building a trench, not capping the victory point or his fuel point with that Tommy? This is what you see when you start to get to the intermediate ranks. Like, I'm an intermediate rank player. I come up against guys like Maka. I'm 300 to 500 typically in my ranks because I'm not very good, quite frankly. And unfortunately, because I know the meta at top level, because I cast a hell of a lot more than I play, I'm expecting a certain thing to happen. I'm expecting certain things to come up against. And then when you get somebody like Maka, who's like doesn't even cap his points, instead he puts a trench down or he goes for a Bofors or something mental, it really takes you by surprise. It can really you know, be a kick in the balls at times.
Given that DevM doesn't really know the faction that well, I mean, he's going to go for the infantry half-track. But what's the changes with this? I'm sure this had some changes, didn't it?
I'm bringing them up right now as we speak. You fully trust me to do that, and I am doing so. However, it does take me a moment.
We'll wait for that to get onto the field. Either way, lovely to see this unit. Great little unit for locking down sectors. Performs very well against planes later on in the game should they come down. It's one of the best anti-aircraft vehicles to occupy the game.
Okay, so the 251 half-track penetration has been increased. Defensive smoke does no longer require Veteran C1. It now, munitions have been increased, however. Its build time has been increased, but it's got some great performance changes. It can absolutely shred garrisoned units, and it has had some bug fixes and quality of life changes to boot. But the Kubelwagen has not had any changes, and that's currently on fire.
Kubelwagen, of course, did go down to some infantry on that side. We've had the Boyd anti-tank rifles from the British infantry come in as well. It was interesting to watch that flak half-track because it did kind of look like it was setting up on the move. The bar went across as it was moving, but it wasn't actually set up. So the symbol came across, but it still took a while to unpack and fire, even after that symbol had reached its full. So I think obviously that was one of the changes, as I recall. Is that right? That it can't set up on the move?
Yeah.
You're gonna say it with conviction.
Yeah, it was a change that happened, I think. Sorry, I must apologise. After about 4 hours of casting, unfortunately, my concentration can slip in and out at times, Stormus. I apologise for that, and I apologise to the fans. Do you accept that apology?
Of course.
What was the question you asked? And I will redeem myself by using the patch notes.
It was simply the half-track. Can it set up on the move anymore or not?
Ah, interesting change. We're about to find that out very shortly. I'm going as fast as I can, I promise.
Well, let's have a little bit of a look at the teching coming in from here. AEC has been put in for unlock, but Naka hasn't hit the button to build the AEC yet. It's going to be pretty late, actually, coming in around 10 minutes if he does decide to hit that button now. It is available to him, but I haven't seen him click it yet.
Okay, of the changes it has had, that will actually make you happy. It no longer has a minimum range, so you can't just come up to it and it can't hit you, which was a bit of a strange thing. There was an issue where it could set on the move. That has been stopped, so it's like a bit of a bug you could exploit. And it's fixed an issue where the setup timer would break. That was basically it.
Oh, look at the sniper doing some excellent work there. Chugging away, you've got the anti-tank rifles. They're in green cover this time, so they may... Actually, they don't reflect the splash damage there delivered by the half-track. DevM walking forward. It's just some very low health units. I think DevM needs to realise it's not like USF where you can walk in with a low health and still manage to win some engagements.
Well, you'd think DevM as a Co-1 player where the lethality is a lot higher, he'd be used to that kind of thing. But apparently not. The 251 half track is working for him quite well with Dan. It's already got 4 kills nearly at Veteran C1 already.
Setting up again. Don't know if the British infantry are okay to deal with this right now. They're taking cover behind defences. None of them are equipped to match up against this unit though.
Oh,
splash damage is going to suppress.
There is one thing that can match up against it, and that is the AEC. And that's about to hit the field. And the 251 is going to be an X half track very shortly.
Interesting, yeah, DevM doesn't have any kind of AT yet. So.
What's next then?
He's done well, by the way, with the boys' anti-tank rifle pushing it away.
Yeah, he has. I think he'd actually regret pushing it away though, because it was a good point for the AEC to come in and actually deal some damage. But
what is this camouflage? That is horrific.
I think this is the code 10-year anniversary skin.
It looks like a 6-year-old girl painted it. He's going for it. Although
yeah,
the half track knew it was coming. DevM with the headphones heard it in the fog of war.
Very, very powerful thing in this game, listening through the fog of war, making sure you can hear all the weapon profiles before they even appear up to your units.
Our forward position has been destroyed.
It's funny actually to see DevM like struggle, you know what I mean? Like
somebody asked in chat, do AECs cost more because it is quite a late AEC? No, it does not. It's had a lot of changes, however, to its main gun, etc., trying to give it a more vehicle-focused effect. But I encourage you to read the patch notes for yourself, because I can't spend all my time reading and talking, unfortunately.
Well, Let's have a look at the challenge that is faced by DevM at the moment. He still has commander selection. He's just started setting up his tier 4, which is in a dangerous position. If the AEC manages to spot that, could probably deal enough damage to take that down. DevM looks like he's bringing in some reinforcements to lock that down a little bit, and I think the AEC, doesn't quite scout it.
Unfortunately, if Maka had been a little bit more adventurous with his AC there, he would have seen the Schwerpanzer with its pants down getting set up, and he could have fully exploited it. He's now discovered it too late. DevM, well, by the way, he's just found out that Stern Pioneers have a Panzerschreck ability. He's probably like, look at this, it is able to have a Panzerschreck. I am going to upgrade it now, thank you.
It's the kind of thing he loves doing with the Austere. Brits just dropped down the artillery there, going to put a little bit of pressure on. I think he's only got the one base at the moment. Yes, it's going to be the one howitzer firing. It's not going to be that effective, to be totally honest.
Trouble, trying to take one of our points.
I must apologise for doing a Speedy Gonzalez impression for DevM. He is Portuguese. I have no idea how he actually sounds in real life.
Line's broken.
But I imagine it does sound like that.
They're trying to take it.
sorry. Oh, God. The 251's in a difficult position. The AEC just shot through the fog, the smoke of war, rather. However, now it's in a difficult proposition. He's got a Panzerfaust and possibly a Panzerschreck waiting for it. Will it escape?
He manages to get that last shot off, but he couldn't deliver the Faust. I think that was due to the smoke. Maybe the unit wasn't visible. But had the munitions for a Faust there, didn't use it from the Volksgrenadiers. Unfortunate situation.
It was unfortunate for him because he needs things to go his way. However, I must say he's doing admirably right now. He's battling against DevM, and that seems to be the story of the day. DevM facing, on paper, inferior foes that are competing out of their skin to give us a good game, and that's what King of the Hill's all about.
Going in there for the incendiary grenade. This is bad though, because he's going to have to run through that incendiary, hits the retreat on his squad. That's not good against the high damage output of the Brits there. DevM hasn't really managed to find that much ground. I'm hoping that maybe he decides to pop some Obersoldaten, which would help him win these engagements against infantry over long range.
Possibly, I believe, by the way, if DevM would emerge victorious from this, it is highly possible that he may still do that. I believe we should give him the choice whether he plays this next game or not, because I think he's played a lot of tournament level play today. In the Come Here's One tournament, which I will be casting tomorrow, by the way, from 8 o'clock. Perhaps Stormless will be joining me, perhaps not, but regardless, I'll be looking to cast that tomorrow at 8 PM GMT on my channel. Going to be playing some 1v1 in the build up to the cast to build up a bit of viewership. Hope everybody here comes to see some great tournament level action. We're going to have games between Pepsi, Spanky. We're going to have the replays of DevM and his foe DD that he played today. So don't find out the brackets if you don't want to be spoiled. There'll be some interesting plays, and Stormless is up for casting that, aren't you, Dan?
I am. I didn't realise it was tomorrow, but...
Well, it's from replay, so we're just going to do a few to break the ice, you know, and introduce the tournament, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that may be absolutely fine.
It's fully optional at this point. I can solo cast. You need to break yourself in with Come Here's One. You've only ever played it on a casual basis, am I right?
That is true, yeah.
You know the units, but you don't know the meta. But I reckon you can learn it quite quick, because quite frankly, there's not that much to it.
And what a wonderful advertisement for the competitive scene in Code 1 that was.
Well, no, it's because it's so well ironed out now. There's not been a patch since 2011, 2.602, so everybody just plays Terror versus Infantry. Although there are a lot of small elements to it, and there's a lot of fine detail that you need to know, you can learn the overall meta quite quickly. Wasted howitzer there from Maka. DevM's now building his army up. He's going to be possibly getting a... What do you reckon he'll be going for? Has he got mechanised out?
To be honest. I mean, he's got the he hasn't got mechanized now. He's got battle group and tier 4. So I imagine he's just going to go either Panzer 4 or Panther. I don't know if DevM obviously realizes the strength of the Cromwell. They've got the one rocket out at the moment. There goes. Actually, what died then?
Do you know what's really odd, by the way? We've probably got shitloads of viewers at the moment, like 550. We always have about 200 to 300 for some of our best games. You guys need to be hotter on getting on the action. 3 PM GMT on a Sunday. We start with King of the Hill. And we have some of the best games when we first start, when we're fresh, when the players are fresh. So definitely next Sunday, we'll be looking to get on the action a little bit sooner.
Oh yeah, and definitely check out a game earlier between DevM and C Sharp, who is Frederick, because it was one of the really nice, good games back and forth that we've cast for a while.
And Longraskaya does, in my opinion, make for... this game's not bad, by the way. I am enjoying it. However, Longraskaya in general does make for some pretty shit games, and that's why we don't have it in the map pool.
We have 300 points remaining.
So it's interesting that they chose one that wasn't in the map pool. That just slipped through your iron grip there, Stormers, seemingly.
Unfortunately, yeah, I do have to leave the lobby at some point and then just leave it in the hands of the players.
Ooh,
but,
look at this, look at the Raketin in cloak. He's found the AC with his pants down. Big shot goes in. Nothing to follow up on it though, and the AC's going to have to be careful now. And the Raketin is indeed in retreat.
I was surprised it didn't go down to the AEC there. Of course, the AEC has had reduction to its anti-infantry potential, so it isn't quite the killer that it used to be. It's more reserved into an anti-vehicle role now, which it kind of needed to be.
It really did. I'm very happy about whenever they make units more specialised in Come Heroes, it makes it a better game. This game is about units that counter each other, a delicate structure of things that interlock, and when things are generalist, it doesn't quite fit with that, in my opinion. I will take this opportunity to plug a few things. Firstly, to plugging Stormless's Twitch. I'm sure you're all following him right now, but if you've got is it £4.99, $4.99 to spare? It's always nice to sub your favourite Twitch users. It gives them a little bit of thing, and it gives you a little bit of EPing as well. Also, I'll shout out my YouTube right now. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. It increases my EPing ever so slightly. And of course, you will find all the King of the Hill games uploaded throughout the week. I'll be trying to upload them staggered possibly this week to give you something to watch every single day.
Thank you, A. That was very nice. I should hire you as a PA.
You absolutely should. I mean, to be honest, I would love to do this. Not in a professional manner. It's never about the money for me. It's all about... There's no money in Come Heroes 2. It's all about the pride, though. Pride of doing a good job and pride of having people that support you and like what you do. And if people say nice things into YouTube, that's always nice. When you've got people like Madden saying, you know, you're shit or go kill yourself, that's never nice. But you focus on the good things, the positives.
In general, it's a very pleasant community to be in.
It's gotten a lot better, I've noticed, as well, Come Heroes, with age. Because the average player age right now is 25.
I just want to say, you can tell DevM has no experience with OKW. The fact that he's built his OKW headquarters the wrong way round. So it's like, normally you have it in reverse so that the turret is facing forward in the direction to defend, which kind of allows you to respond to things quicker without having to turn. So DevM's just kind of built that. It kind of goes to show how inexperienced he is with this faction, but still doing a very good job considering. He's got heavy on the infantry, he's got a nice 80 in the Stone Pioneers. Now he's gone for that Panzer IV, which instantly comes out with the armor skirting.
It does indeed. This game is becoming very World War I-esque. We've got a drawn line of defence. DevM's finding himself in this faction, and Mac has survived the onslaught so far, and he's starting to grow himself, and of course he gets access to the overpowered British tanks the longer he stays in this game.
Yeah, I think he's been going. He probably will go up for a Comet. He hasn't actually made that tech decision just yet. He has got the fuel to start doing it. I'd be surprised if he waits 13 CP and goes in for a Crocodile, if I'm totally honest, but it's entirely plausible that he may. And I'd be interested to see how DevM deals with that as the OKW without a lot of the counters that we know.
Yeah, I agree. I think DevM may be wondering how he gets a King Tiger in this game. Like,
How do I get King Tiger?
he might, sorry, I'm just my casual racism needs to stop. It will stop.
Huge
I
plays
promise.
on the Panzer IV at the moment, as it only
Jesus
needs one
Christ.
more hit from something in order to go down. The AC looks like it tries to take that shot.
Oh, misses!
Doesn't manage to do it. Surely the boys' anti-tank rifle are going to be able to counter this. Faust need to come in from these Volksgrenadiers right now, but the smoke comes in. It does go down to the AC.
Jesus Christ, what an explosion. The Panzer IV is demolished by the AC, but will the AC escape with its life, Dan? He's up against the Faust, he's up against the Panzerschreck. Difficult position.
No, I think the AC will have thrown itself in order to take that kill, but it's a very, very good trade at this point in the game. Manages, it's still alive? How is that alive against
It's
that
alive
structure?
through sheer random number generation luck, seemingly. DevM needs to get a Faust off. He's trying to get within range. AC idling away with a damaged engine. Can he get it? No, he can't. AC has survived.
Oh, he's trying to chase it down with those Volksgrenadiers. I do not think he'll have the chance against the base MGs. That was a little bit of a turnaround, really. DevM looks like he's managed to cut resources against Maka. His one advantage is map control, really. DevM's done a great job of that. Maka really has been kind of lax on map control throughout this game. But he needs to stall. He needs to stall opponents' resources for as long as possible.
Just looking through.
Yeah, he has. He's teched up to Hammer. He has. He's going to go Comet, not for Crocodile.
I think the AEC showed its prowess in its more defined role there. It was just very good. It had great accuracy. Its turret rotation has been increased, of course. Its AoE has been narrowed, so it's a better accuracy weapon against tanks, and it just showed itself to be a very powerful unit there in its defined role.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying watching Dev. I mean, I wonder how many times. In fact, he probably hasn't really come up against Brits with Brens before. You know, those things are ripping MGs from the front right now. And I'm interested to see how DevM is going to try and counter that.
It's going to be interesting indeed, because there's multiple avenues for him to go down. But he doesn't know, possibly doesn't know the meta is okay. He only plays against it when he plays his scrims before tournaments, etc. So he's very much finding his way as we speak. Brit Sniper, by the way, 26 kills. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job.
It's time to have a look at what's been lost in this game. We've got the OKW player DevM. He's lost 1 Stern Pioneer very early on and 2 Rakettenwerfers. One, he did recruit one, he's lost the actual weapon on the other. He's lost a Panzer IV and of course the 251 anti-Hartrack and the Kumawagen, so a lot of vehicle losses for the Portuguese Maestro. Maka by comparison, if there's anything happening on screen, Dan, you must tell me.
It's just, I mean, DevM's got a good lockdown. One thing that DevM has played into his advantage, like, when there's a faction he doesn't know, I think, personally for me, I see DevM do something I don't really see him do a lot of the time, which is focus on the VPs. Like, he doesn't know the factions, he just tries to make sure those are claimed in his favour every game that we've seen, do you know what I mean? And that gives him enough time to kind of learn and build up and just basically rely on his ability to keep units alive, keep the veterancy high. Eventually everything is going to become a very fit fighting force against the Brits. But he is running out of time now.
It's not actually been the case in this game though. He's lost a lot more than Maka has. Maka's only lost a Vickers, which he recruited. So in this particular game, DevM has not been the DevM we well know and love. I think the faction's thrown him off a little bit, and I think Maka's taken advantage of it so far. And right now, Dan, he's got something building. It is indeed the Comet tank.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one to deal with. I mean, it's not exactly going to shred the infantry. I think he'll still have a good chance to deal with that. He's only got to land 1 shot off with the Raketten, maybe deliver the Faust. DevM still hasn't picked a commander yet either, so I'll be very interested to see what his pick would be. I always think
underplay the overpoweredness of a Comet.
Well,
the Rakettenwerfer will counter it, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. This is not the same Comet we were nearly banned last time.
Well, the reason why the Comet remains in this tournament right now is because, you know, the Comet is very, very strong when, you know, when you've got like artillery covers there or the land mattresses just bombarding all the AT. Like, we don't have that here. Brits don't have their artillery on the field right now, so it's just going to be like a Comet versus whatever DevM goes.
Oh my god, Panzerfaust! Right at the last moment, hitting Veterancy 5 on the Volksgrenadiers. The AEC duked it out against Rakettenwerfer for so long because the infantry section got in that trench, but that Panzerfaust was possibly a death knell, and possibly DevM now trying to assert his authority on the game.
Here's the big one. Let's see what the Comet can do. Is it going to one-man the entire squad? The entire army of DevM. Raketten gets a nice cheeky shot off the front. Comet can't push in case of the Faust now. And DevM's going to go for a Panzer IV. I'm so confused. Why would he do that?
It's because he's not used to it. He should be going for a Jagd Panzer IV, not a Panzer IV against the Comet. He possibly underestimates the power of a Comet, it could be said. Because, keep in mind, people even sometimes rarely see Brits in auto match, especially until recently. And DevM's not even played auto match for a long time, so he might be a little bit underestimating the power of this vehicle right now.
Nice little thing here. Maka's up by the hedge, taking some ground fire shots there. Manages to reveal the MG. He takes a cheeky snot shot with the sniper. Look at that.
Sniper, by the way,
nice
36 kills. Now, keeping in mind, like a Photron is probably like 26 to reinforce something like that. Oh, look at that Comet through the fog of war. Mac is showing a little bit of experience there, shooting through the sight blocker.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. Nice to see him doing that. Tier 4 building there. DevM's kind of got it defending actually that VP, which is doing very, very well for him. Comet's a little bit distracted. Throws a grenade in that building. Doesn't manage to wipe the squad inside though. I don't think DevM was expecting that.
So everybody watching right now, if you're wondering what a sight blocker is, a shot blocker. A sight blocker you can attack through the fog of war on. But well, the biggest story right now is DevM's on the Comet. He's got the Panzer possibly making a shot, but the Comet's most likely going to get away.
Will it though, because the Panzer IV is giving chase, and I think DevM may believe that he has a chance to go in and flank around this unit. I'll be very interested to see how this engagement goes with that Panzer IV chasing in. Is he going to dive for it? I think he's going to dive for it. DevM's going to take his chances.
He might kill the sniper as well, because the machine gunners, by the way, focus on the sniper, but it's not going to happen. He's now got turret jam. The sniper got it shot off. It locked the turret. He can't penetrate the Comet's frontal armor. You've got the 6-pounder firing. The Panzer IV is a sitting duck.
Oh, terrible engagement there. Good idea to use the sniper ability to stun that. You just can't throw Panzer IVs in against the Comet like that. You really, really can't.
No, he can't. The only good thing that DevM's got going for us right now is superior micro and map control. You'll notice sometimes when he loses units, he still even controls the map. It's crazy.
I would still, to be honest, say DevM is in the win position right now. About to take his 3 VPs. You know, VP lead is absolutely huge. He may be up against the Comet, but he's gone in with special operations. He's going to have that Command Panther out soon. That'll be GG, I think, to be honest.
It could well be. He's gone for the obvious choice as OKW right now. The choice so often seen in auto match and tournament play. The Command Panther. It's arguably a little bit overpowered in the fact that it comes out at 10 command points. But as a unit, it's truly a very, very powerful one indeed. It has the ability to designate a target and increase its own output.
The Command Panther is one of the reasons why the Comet is still allowed. That did factor into the decision making for that, because I kind of felt like if Brits didn't have the Comet, it would be unfair to allow the Command Panther into a matchup Brits OKW.
You know, and we don't want to start banning too much, you know. Definitely the Brit one-click commanders, but not individual vehicles. That's up to the Relic and the community balances to balance, in my opinion. We've catched a lot worse in this game, in my opinion. For example, 10 munition flares wiping vet-free squads, for example. Stuff like that. We've catched that stuff.
Mines on doors.
Mines on doors. Kangaroo spam. Loads of stuff. Tiger Ace Doctrine. Soviet Window Stream.
Oh, I miss those days.
Yeah, I got to rank 100 of Soviet. I mention it every single time I get an option with it, because I hated the pay-to-win stuff. I absolutely hated it. I knew it was ruining the game, but I still bought it. And I abused the shit out of it. I think that's human nature coming through. There is no morals in war.
Do you remember the patch with the... well, actually, it was in for ages with the B4, where its Veterans C1 ability was that you could pinpoint, accurately fire that huge AoE shell, and you just be like, where's my opponent's base? Oh, there it is, because there's markings on the ground.
Yeah, the markings, the indelible markings. Also, it made really shit like 4 versus 4 players, like my friend Sommenbjorn. Per, do you remember meeting him in London last year?
Yeah.
All he would do is build a B4 and then just like click around the map.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, anybody with a decent sense of getting into the fog of war, you know, you zoom in, you pick up exactly where that engine noise is, because if you zoom into fog, you can just tell where anything is, and you know, it's great. I think you can do it with the Comet. I think if you guys see here,
he's building another Panzer IV. Well, I know he's winning on VP, so it doesn't even matter at this point, because the Macca's map control and VP control has been shocking to say the least.
Yeah, it's a tough game, even up against DevM when he doesn't know the faction, because he just knows, he has the game sense to kind of excel, even with units he may be a little bit clueless about.
But
He's
I
going to
think
focus the VPs, give it everything he's got.
that's what really sets the top players apart. And it's been said so many times. Remember, Ali Pullet, everyone used to point out in every single cast. And that's the top players just seem to cap VPs when you're not even looking. And before you know it, you've lost on VPs.
Oh, Maka hits the surrender button before the Panzer IV could show its mettle against the Comet. DevM is he 4 games up now?
He is 4 games up as king, 5 games in total. So he needs one. Hang on a second, let me get the spreadsheet out. I don't want to misspeak. No, yes, he's 4 games up. He's 3 games as king. So he's got Wehrmacht still to play and Brit still to play before he is crowned king for season 3 already. So you'd be looking for some strong players, I would suggest, to come up and play the Portuguese Maestro.
Yeah, good game from DevM. Really on the back foot on everything there. It's funny, isn't it, really? I mean, like, the British KD is still very, very strong. Because the units just don't die, do they, really? Retreating with Brits is very, very good indeed.
Yeah, it was a good game from Maka, though. We were all happy to see that. And I would argue that it's DevM's call whether we watch one more game today or not, because he is the reigning king. And I think because we've gone past our scheduled slot, well, you know, we always say till 7 PM, we've made him play 4 games, and I think it's fair, Dan, to give him a choice. What do you think?
Yeah, sure, give him the choice. I mean, I said this would be the last game. Up to him if he wants to do another one.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go back to the lobby. Damn it, Windows. Oh, god damn it, Windows. 1 second. I'm going to try that again. Get this right. Let's get this right. Going to... Oh, for God's sake. I don't know what's doing that. It's triggering me really hard. There's something that I can't seem to avoid there with the outro. We'll fix that for next week. I seem to have broken it inadvertently.
To be honest, there's not going to be a next week. You're fired. These outros are just getting terrible. Everybody's saying it in Twitch that we don't even want to see any more King of the Hill now. It's just getting ridiculous. I don't even know what you're on about. I'm just winding you up. DevM, by the way, says, I'm up for one more. Did you see the clueless OKW play? Throwing in a commander in there in the end. So yeah, he's fully aware just how crap his OKW play was. And it leaves him possibly vulnerable when he has to play Brits. He's only ever played them 4 times before, ever.
So he's going to play another one?
He wants to, unless you want to call it a day.
I say we leave it in the hands of chat.
Really? You want to give it an extra level of possibility? Not
go grab what will be my 4th Red Bull during this cast.
Oh, what a lightweight.
But yeah, so for those guys maybe who are just questioning how it goes, yeah, Mr. Quick, 1 game won't equal king. It's 6 games that you have to win. The first one counts as you take on the throne, it counts as your first game. Then you have to win 1 game with each of the 5 factions to make a total of 6. Chat is all on the one more play. Go on then, we'll do it. Guys, the raffle is now open. Please, exclamation mark raffle if you want to be the one to beat DevM.
I'm going to make an impromptu song up, Dan, if that's all right.
That's fine. Can I leave you for a moment with the stream?
Yeah, leave me with the stream. We're going to have a guitar session with AE. Not the best singer or guitar player, so it should be interesting. I will ask the chat for a topic for song, and the first thing I see, I will go for. Big Tar says no. Games Twitcher says hashtag cringe. Make it stop, says Big Black Tar. And then Ishtori says, oh dear, very, very funny indeed. Imperial Dane the song. That sounds like a good idea in my opinion. I will sing a song as Imperial Dane. thought that sounded quite Wehrmacht-y, but this will be better. That's not Wehrmacht-y enough. Hang on a second.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting propaganda cast. With me, your host, Imperial Dane, master of propaganda, hero of the Reich. Defender of the fatherland, Fiora of YouTube. Ban you from my Twitch chats. You won't last 5 minutes with Dane. We're here today on Angerville Farms. Watching Reichsfuhrer Lieutenant Joe fighting for the glorious
How did you manage
Deutschland 116th Panzer Division Windhund is up against the Soviets Asiatic hordes.
What do you think, Dan?
How did you gain view? Oh no, there we go. Now it's caught up with itself.
Well, we do love a bit of hashtag cringe. I am the master of cringe. I'm very much the Alan Partridge of the community. It is, I do see a few lols there, a few mega lols, so hopefully the guys that enjoyed it outweigh the guys that hated it. That's what I always try and go for, and I'll never change. You can't make me.
I left for like 1 minute.
I had a bravo from Zany's app as well, a few claps. That was great, brilliant. Oh yes, people liked my song, that's good.
Good. I'm glad that. Thank you for looking after the stream. I've just drawn the next contender. Potentially, it's Albrazagon, who has won this raffle. Albrazagon, what do you want to do, my friend? Do you want to play against DevM, or do you want to hand it over to another player? I don't know if Price is still here. Price was raring to play. He believes he's got something that could take down DevM. Bear in mind, DevM's only got 2 more games left before he becomes king. So, up to you, my good friend.
We had some funny comments just roll through. The viewers are bouncing back. I must say, by the way, the viewers always do go down in between a game, so it isn't just me singing. Although it could also just be me singing. Who will ever know? I mean, you're not going to find another co-caster like me, Dan. It's going to be very difficult.
Right.
Most of the co-casters you cast with, to be honest, it's just like, hi, yeah, it's a game, isn't it? And well, I think you could possibly build a tank, maybe. I was thinking, possibly. And then it's just you talking for 10 minutes. And then they go, yeah, well, he retreated, didn't he? So he escaped, and it was all right after that.
Shut up. I have a question for you.
Go
Is
on.
Helping Hands in chat? Helping Hands is not in chat, so he if he wants to like come in, that's fine. But he's not actually here. Yeah, I'm being told he's offline. So yeah, can one of my mods please permit Nina 5599, please? Argon, Helping Hands isn't here, so take another player. Off the top of my head, Wifio is here, he's a great player. Vipux is here, Captain Price is here, Walter is here, Prodigy's here. You know, you've got tons of good players in chat. Nagano, you can't do it again, actually. You played today. Captain Prees. Captain
Wifio,
Prees.
I think he should do it, he's decent.
He's that is confirmation in my books. Captain Price, I will invite you into a game.
Captain Prees, the fuck?
First, let me unban you from my Steam, and then we'll get ready to go. DevM versus Price. Interesting game. Interesting. I wonder if Price will actually do well here. Price can be a very good player, but some of the games we've seen have been a little bit hairy.
Hairy? You on about your balls or legs or something? I was watching myself
Don't be so
back. Somebody
crude.
clipped me. Sorry. I like how you let me be crude on your Twitch, though. Everybody else, you're like, could you be more professional, please?
You're just
With me,
here
it's
to
kind.
you're just here to make me look better.
Jesus, I've got my work cut out for me, haven't I? I'm gonna have to work overtime on that one. Fucking hell! You don't give me an easy task.
All right, I'm going to get these guys invited into the game. DevM is ready. Have we got Price? No, because he's banned. 1 second.
Come on, Price, get it together.
That's my fault. He's blocked, so I need to unblock him.
No, I still
so
blame
that
him.
he can... Yeah, I blame him too.
Good. So we've got that one settled then.
Where is he?
That's right. Once again, we will be having a replay show tomorrow. Possibly Stormer's casting with me. It's up to him whether he does that though. 8 PM GMT on Twitch. You'll see it on the scroll reader. We're watching some excellent games tomorrow. Probably the best games of round 1 so far for the Co-1 Will Not Die tournament.
Is that what it's called? Will Not Die.
Fuck knows. I mean, sorry, I do not know, fellow co-caster.
Such a stream liability.
Terrible, aren't I? But it is a game that features
between you and
predominant
Tenchi.
swearing.
Between you and Tenchi, just complete liabilities for streamers.
Yeah, but I don't know why you bothered. It's a 25-year-old average community for an 18 certificate game where the squad swear wantonly. Surely
very
the odd
true.
accidental swear is now and again acceptable, unless it's like.
No, it's
completely-
totally. There are some streams that just blare out the swearing endlessly. You know what I mean, like forever. So, yeah, no, I get it. I can't find Price, so he may have to pick someone else unless he appears or tries to appear. Oh, wait, what does he say? He's trying to get Von Ivan to come to TeamSpeak.
Oh, fuck that shit. Can you just ban him? Sorry. No, sorry. I keep swearing. But Captain Price just triggers me. I hate him.
Well,
I can't stand him.
he's trying to
just
do
annoys
stuff
me.
like get Von
Yeah,
involved and
let's
relay
go
stuff on the
TeamSpeak.
stream.
Let's not
Cool.
take the tournament seriously. Let's make a mockery of it, etc. He's just annoying. He deserves
Price,
no
you need to
respect.
get in game now. We're going to roll another player. Like, no one has time for you to just try and trash the community tournaments, dude. So, get your button gear. Albrazagan says Crossfire Code 2, so we do have another player lined up. If
Always
that's
a
the
good
case.
one, yeah. Exactly. We get a decent person that actually, plays tournaments properly and not a complete dick. That's what we want, really.
I can't even
I do
see.
sound triggered.
I can't even see Price in the game. Scrolling. There he is.
He needs to take a leaf out of Barton's book, because Barton trolls in a good way, but then he'll still play the tournaments. He'll offer you feedback. He'll get involved. He just trolls like continuously. He's like that annoying little kid at school that nobody actually likes.
All right, that's a little bit too far. Like, I know
The
he's
Barton's
a
a
troll,
kid
but...
that trolls and annoys people, but people secretly like him. People secretly like Barton. Everybody's like got a soft spot for him. It's funny. Like, he'll troll for a bit and then he'll come back and say, "Sorry, I was having shit." And plus, the salt does get views, and you know that.
Not that kind of salt.
It's also the post-traumatic stress from when we tried to cast DSL on Wednesday night with Hans and Love Nest. Those many moons ago.
Many moons. Walter, no, I didn't remove him from friends. Removing him from friends would be a terrible idea because then I wouldn't have eyes on him. I have to block him so he remains on my friends list, but he's contained. If I unfriend him, I'm still scared he can troll me. So yeah. Anyway, those guys are now starting up a game, which is good. We can finally get on with the last game of the evening. I'm gonna put you guys over to the famous wait screen. Enjoy a little bit more Company of Heroes 1 soundtrack.
Oh yes.
And we'll jump straight into the next game. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, something like that. Let's do it.
Easy. Oh, that's... I say easy. I hit the wrong button. Go A.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome to what feels like our 10th game of King of the Hill today. It probably isn't quite as high as that, but we've had a hell of a lot of games because DevM has been on the warpath. And when we're excited, we want to cast a guy like DevM. He's here playing as Wehrmacht. He's on the bloody map That's
Road
Help
to
Me, Dan.
Kharkov.
That's it. Road to Kharkov. I always had it vetoed. It's one that I veto instantly, I must say. But they're playing it in a tournament setting, and he's up against. Who is he up against, Dan?
Well, he is up against Captain Price. Captain Price has come in today and said, "I will wreck DevM." These are his words. Even though the other Polish friend of Price got severely defeated, that of course was Barton in DevM's first game. Everyone can see that, eh? But of course, Price, he's going in here and he's instantly locked in with Soviet Reserve Army.
Indeed, it's a very interesting choice. It basically, obviously, highly revolves around Pulse and Tank Hunters, but primarily, of course, you do get the opportunity to spam conscripts and replace your losses with conscripts. However, Captain S. Price, as tradition goes for the Co-Experts clan, as it used to be known, he's gone with a sniper as one of his very first units.
I think it's a sensible choice. Sniper's a very nice unit to play against the 4-man squads of the Oster. And we don't have the Ostupin in there, so he doesn't have to worry about those 6-man squads being on the field to try and displace him. Price, I don't know if you see the bulletins for him. He had the tier 1 bulletin for the penals, which he has gone to tier 1. And also the SU-85s. So I don't know if you've seen Price recently playing tier 4. Loves to have those SU-85s out on the field with all the infantry.
Yeah, they'll really help this doctrine as well. Of course, with a setup like this, you haven't got any big call-in tanks, so you're going to require something that packs a punch in the late game, and that will be the SU-85 for him. DevM, by the way, he was saving Wehrmacht, or Ostia, whatever you want to call them. He was saving it for an opponent that he felt was a threat to his contendership to beat King. And that's a big compliment to Captain S. Price.
Yeah, I quite like that actually, because it leaves his last faction to play as Brits. That's the closing faction he has to play as to win. Fortunately, with this being the last game, I mean, if he really wanted to, he could try and practice that faction during the week, but he's deliberately left that faction till last, and I think Price, yeah, is definitely the catalyst that's forced that situation.
Could DevM be the creator of the shortest season in a King of the Hill history? All the other seasons have gone 10 games plus. Yeah, however, he may win every single game of an entire season. He was one of the contenders against Barton earlier on in the day after Nagano was crowned King of Season 2. And then we've got DevM now. He's won every single game so far, and he's 2 games away.
It'll certainly be nice, and he's definitely the player that could make that happen. No doubt about that. And it's great that he's just come over from Company of Heroes 1 today, playing that during the morning. Then he walks into KOH 2, does really well in that tournament as well. It's a pleasure actually having him play KOH 2 on a day like this, because it's not normally something he steps into.
It is a pleasure indeed. He had a rude awakening this morning playing in the Company of Heroes 1 tournament. He was up against an Asian player named DD. And DD really pushed some pressure down on DevM and took the first game. A big shock to him. So he's had his shock early on in the day. Look at this from the sniper, duking it out against Car 98. Gets pushed away, losing 1 model from the squad.
Price expects to win doing that kind of thing, you know. I will wreck DevM by walking snipers into grenadiers. That's literally how it's going to go. But for such a bold statement at the moment, full map control for DevM right now. He's got 4 grenadiers, MG, and the pioneers. I don't believe any mines have been laid by those. Let me have a quick look through. No, they are not. So still an opportunity for Price to do some work.
There is the opportunity. Will Price take full advantage? Of course, he's waited to get 300 manpower with penal battalions on. He's lingered around with the scout sniper, so no conscripts as of yet. And me shouting out that commander choice, I was first of all thinking, oh, great conscript spam. He's going to spam him with conscripts. You haven't even seen a single one, which has allowed DevM to swallow up the entire map. So this strategy from Price, is it even viable?
I actually would argue that it is, because when you do go into tier 1 solidly like this without the conscripts, you are slower onto the field. You're basically trading early game potential in order to have much more powerful units roaming the field, and I think he has exactly that combination. He has the combination to pretty much dislodge anything that DevM has on the field right now. Sniper for the garrisons and MGs, penals, you know, just to really push the infantry engagements. Be interested to see what he goes for as his next tech, but I think he'll be able to get a lot of the map back right now.
Yes, well now he's got the flamethrowers coming as well. He's got the combat engineers with one already. Of course, he can't get any flamethrowers on his penal battalions, however, now, because of course this is winter balance patch. It's all going to be about PTRSs.
Ooh, Price capitalizing on a mistake by DevM there. DevM hasn't realized as well, hasn't responded with the MG. Penal's trying to get some damage, but will be forced away by the flames of the Pioneers.
Nice from DevM. He covers up for his mistake in expert fashion. He also has the Spy on Spice Fansig scout car coming out as well, which will make great use of the roads on road to Kharkov.
Yeah, it's nice that he's gone straight into that scout car. The best thing that he can do right now is to get the scout car on the field and start using it against the sniper. Price has got up his sleeve though. The Partisan Tank Hunters come out as the I think it's a 2 CP ability. Those are going to be able to come out behind, and I think wait a minute. Isn't the Partisan's AT nade bugged? Do you remember that message from Mr. Smith today saying, could you kindly let the players know that the AT Partisans don't have the AT nade? This could be really backfiring for Price. Am I right? Am I right in saying that?
I'll find that out. Hang on a second. We'll read what he says. He's been telling us a lot of things. Yeah, no, AT Partisans do not have their AT nades in this game today, so that's going to be a rude awakening for S-Prize.
Yeah, I think he's probably expecting flamethrowers as well. Of course, PTRS upgrades have now been on the penals. And that, of course, we discussed this earlier. The decision behind this is that the Soviets from Tier 1 now have a light counter to...
Spice Fansig, this scout, there we go, but they can't use the 18 aid, of course. It's not an option, so the Shrek's got to do the work. It misses just about max range.
The most narrow of misses you could possibly think of. The scout car barely any HP, retreating back to the base. I think the Price is going to be really annoyed about that. Surely, like, his whole build is relying on that unit having the Partisans, but then, yeah.
The Partisans, somebody's saying they suck now. Sorry, the penals rather suck now. Their SVTs are as good as ever. They're still very good at attacking infantry and being a better solution to anti-infantry than Soviets. It's just that Tier 1 now has PTRSs in it, so you don't have to go guards if you're going Tier 1. It just adds a little bit of flavour. And of course, you don't have to take away 2 of those SVT rifles with PTRSs. It is a choice.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, the 5-man squad just firing their rifles alone is a very strong squad. So they have a little bit more of a specific role now, which I actually quite like, if I'm totally honest. It's it makes sense that now when you play Tier 1 Soviets, you don't have to get those guards out, as you rightly said. You don't have to pick a commander that has guards to stay alive.
The Partisan Tank Hunters say tak, and that, of course, is yes in Polish, and Price is Polish, so there's a little tiny bit of continuity for you. Very Alan Partridge-esque comment, would you say, Dan?
A little bit.
Yeah,
you say it in the right voice, I'll believe it.
Not hitting full Partridge quite yet. The British fans amongst the viewers there, probably confusing the crap out of the rest of them. Price's sniper squad is now up to 9 kills, so it's getting to the good territories of starting to pay for itself when it hits about 14 kills.
I like that DevM's actually been pushed back here, and it really goes to show like the strength of Tier 1. Like, you just lose so much in the early game, but you have all the things in your power to just push Axis back and back slowly. Tier 1's still a very strong build, clearly. Price has pretty much returned up to a 3 VP still now. DevM is trying to go up to the sniper. A late retreat from Price there. He always manages to get away with it though.
He does. It must be noted, by the way, that as of this patch, Price won't be able to abuse the Sniper's ability to take advantage of cloak and recloak in a way that wasn't the design of the game, because you're now confined to if you shoot outside of scope, and then you'll have a 10-second cooldown before you can recloak rather, and then you've got 3 seconds between shots before you can recloak as a mandatory waiting period. So it'll make it a lot more consistent.
Stealth in this patch is going to be really, really nice. I actually can't wait till the patch hits when we start to see everybody's take on it. There'll be a lot of new strategies opening up. I, for one, am going to be trying Encirclement Commander out again.
You love that commander?
I love that commander.
Well, the only one of the few players I've ever seen actually use it properly. It's not very rarely used, but when it is used well, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Grenadiers there had to dodge that retreating scout car before it crushed the infantry. It doesn't actually happen, it's more of a play on the cinematics, but scout car nearly taken down again. Grenadiers managed to defend it against those partisans. Devon's going to be careful.
Is there a shed they can jump out of? Yes, there's a building just where the 2-2 is right now. This Price can do the cheeky thing. He has the manpower required.
Does. I wonder if he'll note it that it's actually down there. We'd have to take a bit of a guess, I think.
He would. He's missed that opportunity, but you know why? He was busy taking DevM's MG42.
Yep, I was on it. Yeah, I mean, DevM's suffering right now. He's locked in with Lightning Wall as the commander choice, which I really, really love. G43 is absolutely great. Being able to run and gun against the sniper.
We're in a bit of an interesting situation. DevM's got to be thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm up against a decent opponent here. Really trying to scalp me. I've had a bit of a loss in the MG42. I've got an infantry-based build with a mixture of G43s and LMG. So he's got to do some work to get back into this, and I'll be expecting a sniper, to be honest. It's going to be his sniper play that should get him back into this. But instead, Danny, he's gone for something very different indeed. He's gone for the Sport Armor Corps and the Ostwind about to hit the field.
I think the Ostwind is a great idea. I really do think it's a good idea. Just because it's able to engage things very well at long range, and I really like that. I wonder how it's going to be in response with Price, though. I think DevM's maybe banking on Price going up to tier 4 and calculating the time of those tier 4 units coming out. I wonder if Price decides to throw in a curveball and build some units from tier 3 that counter the Ostwind, maybe the Su-76. Be an interesting way to kind of throw a curveball in there.
It will indeed. We've got rapid conscription utilised, trying to get those extra models to come in. Or extra squads to come, of course. If you lose 6 models whilst you've got rapid conscription activated, which is very easy to do as Soviets, you get a free conscript squad. So that's what we've seen be utilised very now. Now we've got the Ostwind, it's gunning it down the road. There's no major weaponry against it except for one Panzerschreck from the partisan tank hunter. It's going straight for the sniper. There's of course no snares available. So this is going to be a brutal assault from the Ostwind. He's stopping. Oh, he brutalises that squad.
Very, very good push there. Absolutely love to see that. I think he's realised these 80 partisans don't have the grenade on at the moment. Going to take a little bit of time now that the rapid conscription seems to... Is it off? No, it's not off, is it? It's actually still on. Am I right in saying that?
He used it twice in a row, 120 munitions utilised both times, and that's manpower for free. He's very close to getting a second free squad out very shortly.
You could actually argue that when your opponent flicks on this ability, it's a good idea to kind of pull back a little bit and not engage, because you are just going to buff that army up to the hill. But I mean... Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't know if DevM is really familiar with that symbol in this game. Maybe he doesn't know exactly what it means.
No, it's a possibility that he doesn't, but I'm sure that there's like a 50-50 chance whether he knows something or not, to be honest.
Here comes the satchel charge there. Grenadiers, DevM does spot it and out of the building.
Oh, brutal. Beautiful graphics there as the building puffs up clouds of smoke all around it.
DevM seems to have still very good control here. It's going to come up to, I mean, he's fast approaching 12 CP mark for the Ju-87s. So I don't think he really has to worry. I mean, if the Su-85s do come out, if you can get any kind of snare or even just block it with a scout car, those Ju-87s will absolutely shred that vehicle. especially as it doesn't have a rotational turret. It'll do a great job at picking those units off with the block.
It really will. This game's got everything going for it right now to make it into an absolute firecracker. It's building very nicely. You will notice, though, as always, DevM has VP control and dominance.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Price is trying to grow his army size to exceptional level and then kind of rush it all in one place. DevM, as usual, just has good distance on all of his units. The scout car. I love watching DevM play the scout car. He works it so well. It's always at the maximum range it needs to be to fire. It's kept very safe. He does a really good job with that.
I like the way he works it. Diggity.
I like the way DevM works it.
Indeed. We should do a duet of that song sometimes. It's one of my favourites. So I just started singing it at work once. I wasn't even sure what it was. I just started singing it. I was really pissing people off. It was great. There's a demo, by the way, on the northern victory point that could come in Price's benefit because there is no minesweeper for DevM.
Just spotted it as well. DevM needs to be very careful with the Grenadiers against the PPSHs, but now he's caught the conscripts off a little bit low health. I think Price has 18 nades research there, but he's going to be putting the conscript squad at risk. Grenadiers inside the building should be able to kill this as it's low health on the retreat. They do get the kill.
Attempting to steal our sector.
I always think that one of these Grenadiers is going to be a very dead Grenadier in the future if he doesn't get a minesweeper out. And it's a bit foolish not to have one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised not to see him with another squad of engineers. I think he needs infantry a lot right now when he went Flames, I guess. I don't actually know what the decision for Flames was. He got new buildings that need to be cleared. T-3476 reveals itself on the left-hand side. AT gun is repositioning to try and get that first shot off, which connects. Penetration from the front.
Very good by the Pack 40. It announces its intent onto the battlefield. Always great to see that. You know, I've talked about that a lot today. You'll notice a large degree of correlation between Wehrmacht wins and losses. Did they have a Pack 40 up? Yes, they probably won. Well, not probably, obviously, in this balanced patch, but you know what I mean. There's DevM, by the way, with the OCF decal. Of course, he won that tournament quite famously, and he also has the Warpaints Championship Series faceplate that he enters the game in. So he truly is like a king of this game. That's like got all the spoils of those victories.
Yeah, he's a very decorated player in that sense.
Very literally, I mean, I think that's a pretty cool facet of the game, I guess.
Oh, demo charge just goes off, wiping the squad of Grenadiers.
Was a vet 3 squad as well. That is amazing play by Captain S. Price. He clicks the demo, and his opponent's unit blew up. There was the opportunity for counterplay. He should have had a minesweeper, but he didn't.
DevM's fault in a way, because you know if you don't wipe the engineers, you've got to be expecting they're going to lay traps like that. I think the Soviets rely a little bit on the fact that you have to believe them in traps. It's part of their warfare.
T-3476 makes a great move in the Spice there. Great shot, and DevM's rather outclassed on the armor front, so he's having to build a Panzerfahr of his own.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Very interesting choice. The Ju-87 is now available. If he can go in with the Ostwind and the Panzer IV, I think he stands a very good chance of wiping Price's entire army output here. What are you doing?
I'm casting a great game of Company Heroes 2 between DevM and Captain S. Price. Interestingly, we just saw in the chat that T-3476's en masse can be very good indeed. That was from our good friend Findeed that we met in London, Dan. Mysterious fellow, nice hair, nice face, but a distinct aura of a serial killer.
I don't quite remember him that way. That was more Ragnar, I think.
No, Ragnar's not a serial killer, he's more of a mass murderer with a giant foe hammer. He destroys small humans. That was Ragnar. He was 6'2", 20 stone of pure hatred and malevolence.
He literally looked exactly as you'd expect from his name. which was just incredible. You could just book him over, oh, you're Ragnar. Like, we've never met before, I just know you must be Ragnar.
Did he expect the AE Stormless 1-2 Drunken Punch combo, though?
The what?
When I rugby tackled him and you jumped on top of him, it happened.
It did happen. I'm glad I wasn't involved for that long.
Oh, stop disowning it. You were there, you loved it.
Here come the Ju-87s. They're coming in. I think DevM thinks this is an anti-infantry ability. Fact is, DevM, it's not, and you've just wasted 200 munitions because that changed quite a while ago, actually.
Oh dear me. He was up against T-3476, but not in the area he selected. And right now, he's just basically got Stukas flying over the battlefield, looking for opponents that they will never find.
Price is actually going to come in with the T-34, though, which may work against him a little bit. He's trying to get rear armor on the Austrians. Where are the planes gone? They appear to be completely off the map at the moment.
T-3476 takes advantage of the lull and activity from the Stukas. However, it's just run into the Pak-40 and the Panzerfehr. Could be a very wasted tank momentarily.
How did Price screw that up? He had a great opportunity to get the Austrians there. He's going to completely miss it as the Panzerfehr gets the last shot. Gunner tries to bail from the tank. Does get blown up there.
No, my life, my children! As he flies away from the turret. Poor guy.
I feel like we should defend DevM here a little bit. The last time DevM probably would have played that ability would have been at a time when it did suppress infantry and vehicles. So I guess he wasn't to know, but yes, it just goes to show how he doesn't play the game that often. But
DevM makes this game, the balance, pace of the game look good. Because at DevM's rate of play, like once every 6 months, the balance actually changes quite quick for him. It's just for us it goes at like winter balance patch takes 5 months, etc. For DevM it's like, oh my god, this game has changed so much, it's crazy.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
We have here the Su-85, which is trying to counter the Ostwind and the Panzer IV. We'll see how that one does. Doesn't have marked target in his commander, but it's a pretty beastly tank anyway. And I think, did they make changes to the Veteran C2 recently? When was that? When was that?
Tank? Sorry, which tank? Sorry.
The Su-85. I don't think it was a winter
not
balance
this
preview.
one.
I think this was way before actually. Used to get was it 40% increase the rate of fire at Veteran C2? I think balance previously. Used to be an absolute tank killer. People used to be like, oh, Su-85 is so weak. Get it to Vet 2, fires like a machine gun. I don't know
Vet
if it's still
3 is the one where it hits the rate of fire. Vet 3
Right.
Su-85s are the one you want to try and get. They are absolutely brutal at destroying tanks. And this one's going to be quite good because it's up against weak targets. Ostwind misses though at max range. Pak-40's getting in position. The Su-85 will be quite weak to anti-tank fire, as you would expect.
T-Gun's trying to line up a shot. It just got target weak point. Does DevM try to use it for the quick fire? He doesn't. Delicate situation there. DevM is coming up on enough fuel for a Tiger soon.
Everybody that's saying in Twitch chat, it sucks that the most successful KO2 player only shows up every now and again. We've been through this once all today. He paid his dues and come here as one. He played 5 years continuously, and that's it from the age of 12 to 17, and that's why he's a juggernaut now. He can just come back into this game, and it is the true sequel. It's very, very similar to KO1 in many ways, despite what some people might say. And he can just come back into it and just keep trying to keep a fresh of it, and he can really dominate. Also, by the way, he is a professional League of Legends player. He makes money on a regular basis in a very successful EU-based League of Legends team that are a top 10 team. He's a top 100 player in that game. So don't discount his prowess and his commitment to competitive gaming.
Just heard the best sound line ever. The poor guy on the side that, don't let me die here.
Oh, God.
Love that.
I love
that.
all the ambient voice lines. I heard one for the first time today. It was absolutely wonderful. You still hear. It's a very good time to be. When you're casting, you can hear them a bit better. When you're playing, you don't tend to listen.
No. But I mean, that's one of the things that Relic really nailed down, because obviously like based a little bit of Band of Brothers, so it really gets low. Like I watched Band of Brothers again. I was like, hey, that's in Company of Heroes.
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean they
ripped
a
the
lot.
crap out of that series and of Saving Private Ryan. Basically, Quinn Duffy and Greg Wilson were like, this is a good film, this is a good TV series, let's make it into an RTS game. And they did a great job.
They did a bloody good job of doing that, and you really get a sense of that whole feeling that was conveyed through Band of Brothers. But check this out, Price has come in, triple cap is in at the moment. DevM's looking that he's been back in his base for a little while, trying to gear up for a counter-assault. Does he have enough to make it work?
Must be noted, by the way, Captain S. Price has a triple cap on the go, so although Insane DevM had a great dominance in the early to mid-game, Captain S. Price is getting himself into an increasingly stronger position.
SU-85 goes in, the Partisans try to get an extra shot, but SU-85 pushed away a little bit by the AT gun. Is DevM
and the Panzer
IV
can't quite make it work though. Neither player has been able to make a dominant stance upon the armour confrontations right now. They've got enough to keep each other at bay, and that's about it.
Very, very fragile engagement for both players. Neither of them losing anything, but all the vehicles go away from that engagement. Less than a quarter health. Could have gone either way. Respect to both players, really, for actually making that engagement. You know, that was very good decision makings by both. Neither overextended. Did a very good job, very controlled. Because Price knows, you know, he still has a chance to win this. He still has a chance in this game. And too many times we've seen Price try to dive, go all in, but not here, not against DevM.
No, it's not working for him. But he's playing a lot better than he sometimes does, Price. He's playing a bit more tactically, a bit more astutely, and a little bit more reservedly. A lot of the time you'll see him a little bit throwy at times, blobbing his units in and out, and losing a lot of...
Oh, but what is this, Dan? It's a 60-ton behemoth!
Oh yes, the Tiger is now on the field. And with the support of the Panzer IV and the Ostman, this is an absolute force to be reckoned with. DevM has gone for optimal build. Soon he'll be on the Ju-87s again, and it will be a very quick end to Price's army.
The most fearsome and distinctive tank of all time. The big heavy cat is on the field. It's one of those tanks you have to nurture a little bit, you have to support. But if you support and nurture this vehicle, it can become an absolute wrecking ball. And just like Miley Cyrus, it can destroy you.
Tiger's going to push the boat a little bit here, even though it's coming up against the Su-85. It's really pushing the boundaries as the first tank to go in. Panzer IV is there for support, and the Ostland, I think, is going on a flanking run. I'm going to watch this engagement very closely.
Tiger pushes away his opponent. He's also got two of the tier 3 vehicles, the medium armor, that'll support it as like the left and right arm of God, almost. And he'll just be able to dominate his opponents. You know, there is an Su-85 on the field, but there is distinctly missing a Zis gun. So it's a T-34-76 Panzer Shrek and an Su-85 against what is an unholy mass of Wehrmacht armor.
DevM looks like he's struggling a little bit with the positioning there. Su-85 rolling a little bit too far forward. I'd be interested to see how he deals with this. I'm worried that if the Tiger takes a little bit of damage, it may get naded. A couple of 18 nades come off from the conscripts there, no engine damage delivered. Now the infantry force from DevM is coming up on the field to meet with the Soviets to give a little bit of support. 85 maybe coming around the back to try and take some shots against the Tiger. As its first veterancy, so starting to get to that point that we want.
Difficult element of the Su-85. It's very much like a train at times. It's almost on rat tracks. If you can't maneuver it in the exact lines that it's very good to maneuver around, it's pretty useless. You'll find it trying to get around the areas it can't go. So you have to support it, you have to get it in position, and then it can truly be useful.
Vet 2 is up there on the Su-85. That is improved accuracy and penetration, making it even more of an anti-tank killer.
Here we go, the Ostwind's going into against this infantry.
Well, watch this very, very carefully. Price is trying to get that engine damage repaired. I think he just managed to do it with the engineers there, which means they can retreat. And if that Su-85 gets Vet 3, DevM may start to have a little bit more of a
brutal play from Captain S. Price. He's going for the rear armour of the big tanks. He's coming in with some support, but not quite enough, making the T-34 a sitting duck. But the Tiger is now down to 40% health with a damaged engine.
Got but I just love DevM's control here with the units. Tiger on one side, Austrian coming in to clear infantry from the other. Now the Su-85 is rearing up the field. It wants to get that final shot on the Austrian as it retreats back to base, but it does take a fouls from the Grenadiers, meaning it cannot push to close those engagements. DevM's Panzer IV from the right-hand side, fully repaired and coming back into the fight, making sure Captain Price cannot close any VPs on him.
There's the power of the snare. If you get your snare off, if you've got the munitions, you've got the infantry in position, it can make tank engagements a hell of a lot better. This game is not about tanks just dominating. You have to use tactical play, but here we go, we've got one tank trying to dominate, trying to find the rear arm of the Su-85.
Lovely that he managed to get that. He can pretty much get out of there quite safely. There's a lot of low health retreating squads there from Price, and the Panzer IV is going to go in with the pintle mount. MG wipes all of them in one go. Now you've got more units coming in. This is an amazing finish to this game. Is he going to
Look at that pintle mount, by the way. It now operates independently of the main gun. It finds targets and it destroys them.
Yeah, that's actually a really important feature that I don't think we discussed enough. It was exactly as you said, you know, look at the MG targeting completely different things to the turret. It's not something that used to exist in the game. A change implemented by the brilliant balancers have done a great work on this game so far.
They've done a great job, absolutely, and that's one of the many features that's going to make this game great. And if they get a second chance iteration, which I bloody hope they do, because they've shown themselves to be fantastic. I know it's been a lot of hard work for them, and I know a lot of their changes did not see light of day thanks to the scope. But they're doing it right, and Relic are doing it right, in my opinion. You've got to select a few things and make good on them. But the quality of life changes, they have been sweeping and improving the game.
Yeah, I've enjoyed all of them, and I don't think I would have enjoyed the live patch in this tournament, you know, as much as what this has been. This has been good fun and just getting better and better.
We've offered the community a great platform for feedback as well, it must be said. And choosing to put King of the Hill on the balance patch, it's offered a great service to the community, and the community have become a great service to the balance patches because they've been able to offer more feedback having seen top players play.
The enemy down to 50 points.
Look at the size of Price's army.
Yeah, but he's really struggling right now, and DevM, I think he's probably thinking, yep, this is the time, I can go straight in. Price can afford an 85, but it doesn't look like he's reaching for it whilst he's trying to reinforce his army. He came in with the idea that he was going to wreck DevM, and it hasn't gone his way at all.
No, it hasn't, and that's the tale of many a DevM foe, as DevM now senses blood, he smells it, and he's not going to mess around. He's going to go in with this Osman, he's going to finish off his Polish
We are
foe.
close to victory. Press on. The enemy has 25 points remaining.
And there's not much Captain S. Price can do about it. It just about has enough for a T-3476. I don't know what much that's going to do. He's having to evacuate his own base sector, like refugees from like little children running scared on a boat trying to get to a neutral country.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And there we go, that is going to be the end of the game. No realization on that threat from Price. DevM winning his 5th game. He has one more game left before he becomes the 3rd king. We nearly crowned 2 kings today. Nearly crowned 2 kings today, which is absolutely awesome. We're going to go back into the lobby and summarize that. Hello everybody, that was a great game right there. Unfortunately Price did not win. Price in chat saying 18 aids on partisans are bugged. We know, actually, we knew this morning. That is, I believe, where is that written?
It is in a message to us in co2.org from Mr. Smith. You know, this is the balance patch as it stands. There are bugs in the balance patch. Price is just fortunate that this it wasn't for that much money. He wasn't the reigning king, and it didn't actually matter that much to him anyway because he clearly got outplayed by a very good DevM.
Yeah, it was a good game. Like Price demonstrated the superior build from Tier 1 there, how it can really take back large areas of the map with those, you know, way more powerful units, basically. Good composition from DevM. Love seeing Tier 3 played that way into a kind of a late Tiger. So a good game all round, good show from both players. For those of you wondering, yes, that was our last game of today. We have already crowned Nagano king. DevM's one game off becoming king himself. So he'll be the player that plays
live next Sunday, so make sure you tune in on time next Sunday. Look for that ticker. If you're an American, wake up a little bit early, get your cereal out, and get a beer like I would, and watch that game, because that might be DevM being crowned Series 3 king in such quick fashion. I will point out a few comments I saw in chat, by the way. We had the Mad Hat saying, well played Wehrmacht win is one of the best pleasures you can have in Company of Heroes 2, and I fully agree. Wehrmacht truly display what's great about this game: positional play, support weapons, having everything supported in a delicate way that needs strategical expertise, and it was very good to see DevM utilize it very well.
Well, I guess that's it for this evening, guys. Thank you very much for watching King of the Hill. I will host you onto another channel. Just want to say thank you very much for supporting the tournament. We hope you have fun every week. Thank you very much for the follows and support. We got the tip jar halfway full, which is impressive, actually. It seems to just be like a void that just keeps sucking the little symbols in. But all of those are very appreciated. Captain Price, yeah, they already know. Like, they knew it was bugged. Like, they actually all were just saying, just to let you know, 80 partisans are bugged, you know, blah, blah, blah. It hasn't got the thing. They already know what it is, that it will be fixed pretty soon. It was just that for today, Kyle had already put the 1.9 patch on, and it had that on it. So don't worry about that. That's not really an issue. It's a blatantly obvious thing that's supposed to be there that will be fixed. Don't worry about it. Sorry, obviously, it happened during a game, but you dealt with it well. So yeah, cool guys. I just want to say one more thing for the people that are here now. Obviously, like King of the Hill, it's not like we've been given like a magical grant of money. It is running on pretty much my own earnings. So if you want to support this and you don't want to like donate, which is absolutely fine, please do stick around. I'm just going to run 2 minutes of adverts, which kind of just chips in a little bit towards it. That would be very helpful. After that 2 minutes, I'll hand you guys over to another stream. But thanks again for your support.
Also, just very quickly, tune in at 8 p.m. tomorrow on my channel to see a replay show of the best of round 1 of Co Will Never Die tournament. So turn in tomorrow. It will be in strategic Zoomcast mode, so I hope you enjoy that. It'll be interesting to see that on a Twitch perspective. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Sweet. I think that's it. Goodbye, everyone.